Good afternoon and welcome back to DR Sports for another Game Day Live. This time Tottenham versus Manchester City. What a massive game we have for you today at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Still haven't changed the name. It's a 4:30 kickoff. We've got 24 minutes to get into it before that whistle goes. To my left, joining me today is my co-host Nicky Hawkins. How are you doing, fella?
Tired, mate.
Tired? Just come back from Newcastle, seen his team collect a point.
Yeah, I was happy with that, to be honest.
I bet you were.
Yeah, it was a
Good trip?
It was good, yeah, it was decent.
Couple of beers?
Yeah.
There you go. I know how it is. Joining me to my right, we've got Tottenham fan Dean. How are we, fella? Good to see you again.
Man. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hopefully, big game today. Hopefully, we get the 3 points. Yeah, we need that top 4, so yeah, let's go.
We'll come to you very shortly for the team as well, for Tottenham. And we couldn't find any Man City fans, unfortunately. So what we thought we'd do is throw a cat amongst the pigeons. Why not? We've got an Arsenal fan here as well, and it is, of course, Nick Francis. How are you doing, fella?
Tired as well, a little bit emotional, but, you know, Dean and I have decided to just, you know, put our differences to one side for this particular game. And, you know, hopefully, I don't even know if I can pray for Spurs win. I think a draw.
No,
maybe.
I think you'd be happy if there's a Spurs win today.
I don't know.
Sure.
We'll watch the game kick off and then we'll see how I feel as we go. I think play it by ear.
Play it by ear.
Yeah.
Well, already we've got in the chat for you a poll. Who's going to win this game? Is it Tottenham, Man City, or a draw? Let's get into the teams then. For 4:30, who have we got that starts this game, and then go through the bench as well for us. For the home team.
All right, we've got Hugo Lloris. No mistakes today, please, man. Emerson, Romero, DR, Davis, Perisic, Hjoberg, Bentancur in the middle, and then Kulusevski, Kane, and Heung-min Son up top.
Okay. Massive bench as well when you look at it. The names on there: Richarlison, Danjuma, Sessegnon, Forster, even Porro, Longley, Bissouma. Why isn't Porro on the bench? Why isn't he starting after what was such a dramatic kind of swoop in the last day of the window?
I hoped he was going to start. I think if he's your number one target for that position. Royale, we know that he can't offer nothing going forward. I thought he played the final last week. Porro did, so I thought, slot him in. But it seems like all our signings, they have to have 5 years before they can start a game. So, yeah.
Emerson still getting that start for Tottenham. Let us know, Tottenham fans, how you're feeling about that team. Let's see the Manchester City team. Nick, if you'd like to read that out for us.
Yeah, he's tinkering with the team a little bit, Pep Guardiola. So you've got Ederson in goal, back four, Lewis, left back, Ake, centre back, Akanji, centre back with Ake, Kyle Walker, right back, and then it looks like Rodri and Bernardo in the middle, Alvarez in the 10 or second striker, Haaland up top, and Grealish and Mahrez on either wing. So something a little bit different.
Kevin De Bruyne on the bench, not getting a start for City. What do you make of that? I mean, we're seeing the players warm up now on the pitch. Without De Bruyne, it looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Not seeing him start.
Yeah, and I mean, Rico Lewis getting moved to play in multiple different positions as well. You know, Nathan Ake's been doing pretty well at left back, and now he's been moved to centre back. So we'll see how he deals with that. And yeah, obviously the big one is Kevin De Bruyne not starting, which is very, very bizarre. I don't know if there's a fitness issue there, or I don't know what the situation is, but there seemed to be a dressing room in a little bit of disarray. Maybe that's a bit of my Arsenal hope that the dressing room's in disarray a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. It's a very, very strange one. But then, I mean, they've got hundreds of millions of pounds of talent on the pitch anyway, so they should really be able to deal with one player not being there.
Yep. No horse in the race for you today, Nicky. Okay. But how do you see this one going? We're currently watching the City defence, the starting defence, work on their shape. They're moving up and down in a line together. I mean, their record at Tottenham Hotspur isn't good, is it?
No. You know, we watched, was it a cup game about a month ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, 17
you know, Tottenham went 2-0 up and City come back. There was fragilities in that defence, and he's obviously identifying that, and he's tinkering with it a little bit. Is this the, 18-year-old Rico Lewis playing, it looks like left back today. Is he losing a bit of confidence? I mean, I know that he's got injuries there, but who hasn't? But there is different fragilities there. There's definitely fragilities there, and they look beatable at times. City. I thought this season. So, yeah, I think coupled with the sort of the Haaland problem, which it shouldn't be a problem, but I think they've become a little bit one-dimensional. I think they can get got at City. They're not invincible.
They've gone today with Haaland and Alvarez both starting from the front, which again, attacking-wise, they're going for it. but it's just those midfielders, maybe a couple of defenders, where you look at the team sheet and maybe raise an eyebrow to it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, but he has got a little bit of history of doing this, isn't he? Thinking, he tries to be fair on his squad, and he tries to get everyone sort of even playing time, I think. And sometimes he's come unstuck by doing that, leaving the likes of De Bruyne. De Bruyne's a world-class player. But they haven't. It's not like they haven't got people on the bench that can come in and do a job. But sometimes this, I won't call it arrogance, but this sort of rotation system, they do come unstuck every now and then.
Well, you mentioned that the Champions League final, didn't he play Gundogan as a false nine?
Yeah.
And look how it ended for him that night.
It's not really the time to be tinkering, is it?
As a Spurs fan, how do you react to the team that they've put out? Can it be got at?
It can definitely be got at. The last game he played, what was it? 3-2-5 of the goals were defensive errors from both sides. So I think to win this game, it's going to be who outscores the other, because defensively, we've let in 31 this season. I think that's like joint bottom in the league. Obviously, Man City are vulnerable at the back. If you do get at them, getting behind the defence. So yeah, KDB not playing, it's great. But then you've got Bernardo Silva, you got Mahrez, who killed us last game. You've got Erling Haaland. You got the young boy Alvarez up front. So. It's not all gravy, even though you got KDB on the bench, But yeah, let's see.
Big up to everyone in the comments right now. Why can't you find a Man City fan? Because they've got none, says Elias. Big up to you. If Conte does anything right today, first goal scorer will be Son, says Archivist Al. We do know that Conte isn't at the ground today because he's still recovering from his surgery. So we hope he gets better soon. Is it true that most of Man City fans are former United fans? Asks Nitrokosis. Big up to you. Pep removing all the old Man City players. I guess there's maybe a case for that when you're taking out the likes of De Bruyne. But again, he'll still have a massive part to play in the season. Of course he will. AGT, I'm sorry they keep bringing you out here. Stay strong, brother. Our time will come again. Says Josiah, another Liverpool fan. Big up to you, mate. Again, no chat about Liverpool today. Let's focus solely on what's at hand today. Conte is at home. Spurs are going to get spanked, says Ramzino. And Jason Crook just says Arsenal 6 times. As an Arsenal fan, what do you want to see today? What's the ideal outcome? We know it's obviously...
I honestly, because of my distaste for Tottenham Hotspur as a club, I would have taken a draw had we managed to get our win yesterday, which we should have done. But I guess for us, Everton's a bogey team for us, and I suppose I'm hoping that that Tottenham are a bogey team for Man City. So if we both drop points, then it will soften the blow a little bit. But yeah, I just got to focus on Arsenal, not focus too much on what Tottenham do. So if Tottenham win, then I guess that works for us, and I'll have to swallow it.
There you go. Spurs without Conte might actually press in the first half, says the Arsenal blueprint.
I hope so.
Bit of a second half team this season.
Yeah, maybe. It's been an indifferent season, I'll say. We've been performing well in the second half. I'm just very confused on, for example, the way we ended last season. I thought I had high hopes for this season, but it seems like
it's not over yet.
It's not over yet. But I thought we'll be challenging for the top 3. The way we finished last season, and we've fallen back a bit. Our performances ain't been great, but then it all goes back down to the investment in the squad with the right players.
You did win the transfer window, though, didn't you, in the summer? That was the talk at the time. Cool. That was the talk at the time that you'd won the sorry, Nicky, but that was the talk at the time.
Everyone thought we had a great window, but then the squad overall wasn't great. So I think a lot of the summer window, as you can see, for example, players like Basuma, you think you're getting the Brighton Basuma, he ain't shown half of that at Spurs. Lenglet again, we thought we wanted Bastoni. We ended up with Lenglet on loan. So again, it always goes down to me from the top and the investment in the right.
I know it's not pretty at the moment, but you're still in with a shout of the top 4, and I think that's impressive. When I watched a game against City, a few weeks ago, and you were poor at the back.
Yeah.
So to be picking up results, that's impressive.
I think
good. And you potentially could still have a little purple patch coming. So.
100%, but I think as Tottenham fans, we've been hurt so much over the years. For example, you'll see teams go on why can't we do a 8 game win streak or just feel comfortable for once. Every game you go into is just higher on anxiety. You don't know what you're looking for. So I think as Spurs fans, all we're looking for is a bit of consistency, rather than a great game here, poor game here, great game here. We just want to build that consistency.
Well, you consistently play good for 45 minutes, whether that's the first or the second. It's
Yeah.
45 minutes. Well, do you think that some of your fans are still like, maybe not recovering is the wrong word, but still getting over that Pochettino era where you still you want to see good attacking football? You've got 3 or 4 good attacking players: Kulusevski, Son, Kane, and Richarlison. When he plays, that's the front four that should be up there doing things, and they just obviously this style of football just doesn't lend itself to them.
Yeah, I think us as fans, we are spoilt. Realistically, we are top 6 club, top 5 club. Realistically, and we just love to punch above our weight, I guess. And that Pochettino era changed our mindsets completely. So.
A realistic Spurs fan, I love it.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of you, Dean, already. We're going to get along really well.
Everyone that comes in now is just expecting that, like, you get Jose, you sack him before, like, again, it's just probably you sack him before 5 days before a final.
Yeah.
You know, and then you put Mason in charge, who's never managed a real game in his life. So it's just, it's a mess sometimes.
You mentioned consistency. By the way, guys, just under 1,000 of you in the chat right now. Make sure you smash that like button before we get into this one. But you mentioned consistency. One thing that has been consistent is scoring against City in the stadium, 4 in 4.
Yes.
That we've just seen there. Obviously, we know he's 3 goals away from getting 100. It's taken him a long time to find much luck really this season in front of goal, but is he maybe the man that can get through that defence? We've seen it so many times before.
It's a shame to say, but Son on his day this season, if you on his day, he can get in behind that defence and put it in the back of the net. But comparing him to last season, how many goals he got in the Prem? What, 2?
I think it's 2, yeah.
2 in like 21 or something like that. It's ridiculous. So the faith for me is the boy Kane. Really, he's the one that's gonna, if anything, he's the one that's gonna get us out of trouble. And if we can get that Kane that played at Man City in that 3-2 win at the Etihad last season, I think it was, then yeah, we have good chances today. But Son, hopefully, on his, like, if he turns up, yeah, he can get him behind Walker.
And Nicky, Alvarez, 3 goals in 4. Maybe is he more on form right now than Haaland?
I think Haaland's always in form, to be honest. You know, he's a phenomenon. So he's having a better patch of goal scoring, but you know, Haaland's just one of them players that can do it at any time. You know, he doesn't seem to be marred by confidence, or short of confidence, or marred by bad previous performances. He just turns up, and when he turns up, and you can't stop him. But yeah, you could argue that he's an informed striker. So I'm a bit baffled the fact that he's gone with 2 of them. Both of them. I thought he might have started with Alvarez, but it's Pep, isn't it? He does what he wants.
Well, they both start, and Haaland has scored 25 goals in 19 Premier League appearances this season. Only 2 players have ever scored more in their debut Premier League campaign. Can you name them at home? Let us know. One of them was mid-90s, and one was right at the end of the 90s. Anyone? I'll give you 10 seconds to fire in some names, but there was only 2 that have done it before. And seeing the numbers that these guys put up, he's going to go past both of those.
Yes, absolutely.
Which then means he breaks the Mo Salah's record.
Yeah, 100%.
That's crazy. And the things with the strikers, I think Haaland's one of those guys. He scores in 2s, 3s, and 4s. So even if he doesn't score 1 or 2 across the season, he'll make it up by scoring hat tricks here and there. He's already on target to break hat-trick record, Aguero's hat-trick record. And I just think that with Alvarez, he probably more fits Pep Guardiola's style of football. He's more fluid. He plays multiple different positions. He's more of a link-up player rather than Haaland, who's now an out-target man. So that's probably why he's partly the sort of informed striker. Obviously, they've decided to go for Haaland, and they got him at a good price on the rest of it. But you could make the argument that, like I say, Alvarez probably fits that style a little bit more.
Yeah, I would say.
Well, the names, a couple correct answers in the comments. One was Andy Cole, 34 in 93-94. Was that for Newcastle, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been, yeah. I'll tell you what, though.
And then the other one is a lot tougher.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anyone to get there.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I would know it, but...
I knew, yeah.
Yeah. What a return that was. I'll give you the team. Sunderland. right? 99, 2000. There was one man up front, potentially that season, more informed than Michael Owen in terms of English strikers at that time, that era. I've not seen any correct answers for the second name in the comments yet, but it was Kevin Phillips. There you go. 30 goals. Gavin Russell got it in the comments. 30 goals in 1999 to 2000. A great era. Great time.
Season. Yeah, crazy.
Just in
season.
general, life was so much
That's
better
when we
back
had
then.
so many good goal scorers.
Yeah,
so,
mate, that's when the number 9
Yeah,
was.
that was Owen, Shearer,
Fowler,
Fowler.
Phillips, Marcus
Stewart, yeah.
Ipswich.
Yeah.
I like it.
He got about 30, I think, in one season,
yeah.
or 20, 29 or something.
There's a few other names up there. But yeah, Henry, obviously, at the time. Van Nistelrooy, maybe a year after. But yeah, the early 2000s were so great. Was lost, but now I'm found, says in the comments. I agree. Right, what does this game mean for the title race? We know the obvious, but as an Arsenal fan, are you looking at this game to see how City's resolve can be tested? Because obviously you've got to play them very soon as well. Do you look at this and say, let's see what City are about before we go in for them again?
Yeah, it's difficult because depending on how you want to look at things, I've seen a lot of. Obviously, we lost yesterday. We played really poorly, but I've seen a lot of indication that if we're on form and we play our game, if you like, we can beat them. We gave a good account of ourselves in the FA Cup game with 6 changes to our starting 11. You know, we've seen them look quite shaky and quite, maybe not shaky, maybe inconsistent at times. I thought actually, you're looking at quite a few things and thinking actually we can beat them, but I don't want to carry that into the game. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to carry that sort of, maybe cockiness isn't the right word. This is a team that slap us every season. They've slapped us 3 or 4 seasons, you know, slapping us around. So we can never really go in too confidently. But yeah, I think that there'll be some hopefully quiet, conservative confidence that we can see how we can get at these guys if we go in and play our game, not allow them to play their game and impose ourselves on the game. And obviously the half that Spurs went 2-0 up, that was a big indication of, okay, we can really go and get at this team. And we're hoping to see them drop points, but also get another little blueprint of how we can maybe stop them as well.
Yeah, we're looking at Tottenham's record against City at home. 5 wins in 7, Nicky.
Yeah.
Sergio Aguero was one of the only wins that they had in recent times.
The only 2 losses that they did have were played at Wembley.
Wembley, yeah.
So yeah, it is a cursed stadium for City, it seems.
Is there any part of you that wants Spurs to lose today?
No way. And the Spurs fans that do want us to lose, you're just another Sol Campbell, mate. No way. I want my team to get the 3 points. So we want top 4, and that's our goal. Like I said, Man City and Arsenal, they're both big boys. They've got to play each other twice. They let you lot battle it out in those games. We want our 3 points.
You mentioned the top 4, the Champions League spots. What happens to Spurs if they don't make top 4 this season?
Reset again.
With who?
With who? I don't think Conte stays if you don't get top 4.
Would he stay anyway, even if you do?
Conte's confusing. But then I think his confusion is more towards when he comes out in his pressers and he says I don't know, or he says I'm not interested in talking about my contract, and I think it's more leaning towards the board. But hopefully signs say that he will be here next season if we continue to build and reinvest in the team. Yeah.
If he doesn't get top 4, do you think? I know his contract comes to an end, so it wouldn't be a sacking. But do you think it's him walking away, or do you think it's the board saying, actually, we've had enough of you?
I think it's him walking away.
Got you.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's him walking away.
A lot of money to walk away from, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's why maybe he doesn't. But we're also seeing the players in the tunnel right now. They're all wearing the green armbands in support of Green Football Weekend, I believe, the initiative across all the broadcasters. So that's good to see.
A lot of vegan food getting thrown about and all that kind of stuff, apparently.
Yep. Well, not thrown about. Maybe
not thrown about, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Get me some real
What is this?
No.
I've not heard of this.
Yeah,
Have you not heard of it? It's on Sky and BT. It's something to do with sustainability and making sure that fans use sustainable modes of transport to get to the game.
Yeah. On BT, they were all the presenters wearing like sustainable clothes. They were all wearing like vegan clothing. It's just like a big
to counteract the 6 or 7 big diesel munching trucks that they take to every Premier League ground,
and the private jets that the players get flown in on.
It's ironic, but that is such is life, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
the world
but
that we
I'm
live
not having any of that.
If you don't like hypocrisy, football's the wrong place
I'm all up for sustainability and all of that sort of thing, but don't shove something down my throat. You know, do as you preach, as they say.
Yeah. Seeing Jack Grealish on the old smelling salts.
What's
there.
he?
Did we see that?
Yeah.
I hope it's
I hope
smelling
smelling
salts.
salts. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so indeed. Gives it to Haaland. Does he want some? Chucking it around. But there you go. Let's get into the predictions then. The players are coming out the tunnel. What an occasion this is, by the way. Tottenham versus Man City, a massive game. And not only the title race, but also the top four as well. And one that City have not fared well in recent times as well. Let's get into predictions then. Tottenham, home team. Who's going to win this one?
I think City will score their first goal at the Tottenham Stadium, but we'll win 2-1.
2-1 Tottenham win at
2-1.
home.
Yeah,
I mean, listen, the
2-1.
record speaks very well for that prediction, so I have to agree with you there. I'm gonna go with I don't think this game is a draw.
No, I don't
That's the
think
one
so.
thing I will say.
Someone's winning. Someone's doing.
I think Tottenham might do it.
Hope
I'm
so.
gonna go 3-2.
3-2.
3-2. Why not?
Nice.
Nicky?
3-2 the other way.
3-2 City.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I think 2-1 City, and I think whatever team scores first goes on to lose. I think there'll be a comeback. So I think scoring too early could be not a mistake, but could be a bit of a problem for either side. But I think 2-1 City on balance. The
2-1
squad's
City.
just
Yeah.
too deep.
Split right down the middle.
Yeah,
All
there
of
you
us.
go.
Okay.
And you guys are pretty split at home as well with the prediction poll. 42% think a Man City win, 37% think a Tottenham win, and 20% draw. Thank you for voting there. We've got 3-0 City, 2-2. We've got 3-1 City, 2-0 Spurs, 3-0 Spurs.
Jeez.
Again, very
Clean sheets.
varied, these predictions here in the chat. Come on, the free-range chickens, beat City, says Anthony for 1993. There you go. Yeah, it's a bit ironic when, you know, all the players have supercars that are run on fossil fuels. You know, but there we go. Hopefully it's a change for the best.
To be
I'm
honest, I
behind it.
appreciate them using the platform,
They kick a leather ball
you know,
around as well.
to promote these things, but don't talk to me about them.
Right then, the players are on the pitch. We are 2 minutes away from kick-off. Rodri and Silva in the midfield as almost a double pivot. And then you've got Mahrez, Alvarez and Grealish all behind Erling Haaland. That is some attack, and if they can get going, it could potentially be a long afternoon for Tottenham. But again, the record doesn't suggest that. In terms of benches, go around the table. Who's got the better bench for this game? We know De Bruyne on the bench, Laporte, Gundogan. Tottenham's bench isn't bad either, is it?
No,
Ruben Diaz, Calvin Phillips also on that bench for City.
I still think City's got
Yeah, City.
bit of bench.
Yeah,
better squad depth.
100%.
Best squad depth in Europe, probably.
one off.
One
I think.
off,
yeah.
I mean, obviously Spurs have Pedro Porro on the bench, but we have yet to see him play.
And Danjuma.
And Danjuma as well. We've seen Danjuma play.
Richarlison.
Not too fussed about Richarlison.
Dejan Kulusevski scored on his last two appearances against City.
yeah.
Good to have him back if you're a Tottenham fan. Pep giving out his last-minute instructions to Jack Grealish and Riyad Mahrez. I wonder what he's saying.
This
It
guy's
would be nice
brain.
to actually hear, wouldn't it?
Well,
Get them
that
mic'd
might-
up,
yeah.
I'd say. Riyad Mahrez goal involvements. He has had 11 against
It's
Tottenham, which
ridiculous.
is the most of his career. He's someone else that we've not really even mentioned, but he's having
He's
an
a problem.
absolutely blinding
Yeah,
season.
he's
is
a
he not?
problem. He's a problem.
Yeah.
Against us, he's a problem.
Because they've had the big money signings, they've had Alvarez come in, Haaland come in. I know Grealish was last year, but that was big money signing. He's floated under the radar a little bit, Mahrez, and he's got them out of trouble a few times. But yeah, he's having a very, very good season. And you just wonder the psychology of this team, seeing players that have been a big part of their success getting shipped out, like João Cancelo, for example, not getting game time, and you wonder where they're at mentally. This City team, because I think that's what Pep seems to be a little bit unhappy about at the moment.
Well, we are seconds away from kicking off here, Nicky. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah,
mate.
I am as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Let's go.
Let's
Good
go.
game.
You're here on DR Sports. Tottenham versus Manchester City. Make sure you smash the likes before kick-off. The whistle is blown and we are underway at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Is there any plans to change that name, or is that just something we're going to have to get used to? I'm sure they're looking to sell the
Yeah,
rights.
yeah.
Amazon, mate.
Naming
Amazon.
rights. Naming rights. Levy's looking to sell naming rights, but obviously everyone knows Levy. He wants the
Top dollar.
the top dollar for it. And obviously break the record or something silly like
I actually saw him fairly
Yeah?
recently. I walked past him last week
that. Where?
in North London. I won't say where specifically,
Yeah, of
but
course.
yeah. And he was with a lady who had a Tottenham puffer jacket on. So it was definitely him. Saw
Yeah.
him. He
That's
looked me in the eyes. He said, "Tell that Abby to stop chatting so much." No, I'm joking. Robbie is in church to pray for Spurs to win, says Naveen. A few people have asked, where's Robbie today? You've got myself and Nicky Hawkins, but Son is making a very good run here. This is about 40, 50 yards he's gone there, and Jack Grealish intercepts.
We just spoke about him.
That's what you can do. That's
Yeah,
the
the
terrifying
first minute,
thing.
that's a good start from him.
He's one of the hardest people to stop. Once he gets into his flow and he starts, because he's picked that ball up right on the edge of his own
does
box,
fly past players,
and he
doesn't
just
he?
starts gliding,
Yeah.
and he's so difficult to stop without fouling him.
But you know, you get there's certain players, right? And we see one yesterday. Callum Wilson is one against us that they get this phenomenal record against one club, and their confidence, no matter what form they're in, their confidence just seems to surge, and they're thinking, "Yeah, I'm going to score today."
Obviously, he always score against West
Callum
Ham.
Wilson,
Callum
11
Wilson,
in 12 or something.
Yeah.
12. Yeah, some clubs are just purple clubs for
players.
some players.
Yeah.
right?
Lukaku was one for us.
For us, yeah.
Lukaku, I hated seeing his name on a team sheet. It would be
Drogba
guaranteed
was one
goal.
for us.
Us was Aguero.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Aguero for everyone.
Yeah,
really,
for everyone, he killed us.
Yeah, Bobby Firmino loves a few against Arsenal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So does Salah. So did Mane. If I'm honest.
Kane loves Arsenal.
Yep. Kane.
Yeah,
loves
Kane
playing
always scores against
Arsenal.
us,
So
yeah.
most goals in the derby now. Kane, surely. Yeah. But City are starting with a high line here, as they look to get back in. Well, I say back into it, get a bit of possession.
does he get bad reception when he goes back, Kyle Walker?
No, I don't think he does.
it's
I
been
think
ages.
he. Yeah, I think
Yes,
he.
I know it's been a long time, but
he
we
deserve-
still wait Paul Ince, and that was 30 years ago, 40 years ago. nearly.
Paul Ince. Wow. Oh wow.
Go on,
Emerson
Royale.
Royale done very well here. Rico Lewis gets
yeah,
back
you can
really
get
good
you
though.
can get at Lewis. You can get
Very
at-
good defender though. I
Oh,
think he's
Great
got
little
big
Did he
flick
nuts
from
him?
Jack Grealish.
Nice
Great
from
flick
Grealish.
Jack
did he nuts him? Yeah.
I think he did, yeah. Harry Kane does so much in and around the pitch, more than just being an out-and-out striker. But then sometimes when you actually need him to be in that striker position, he's not there. Is the issue. Because Emerson didn't get that ball off. But if he did get that ball off, there was no one in the box
No one in
anyway.
the box. Exactly.
There you go. 3 minutes in, fairly even so far. And City will be looking to overturn this horrendous record they've got away at Tottenham, which stretches back some time now. Foul by Hjoberg.
That was poor Hjoberg, man.
Bit of a tetchy one there early on.
We need to do
Drawn
this.
right into that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, we need to do this.
That's
for
what
content.
Silva does. You think you can
How
get it,
quick
and
he
he
can
takes
turn.
it away last
Yeah.
second. Yeah. Referee today with the armband, the green armband on as well. Andy Madley. Little chuckle there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. I know. how
Show
you
your
feel.
feelings, mate. Show your feelings. Come on, it's a safe
I'm
space.
just sick of hypocrites, to be honest.
Yeah, me too, mate. Me too.
Mahrez setting up for a free
Chance
kick
for
now.
City though. Early doors to get it in the box. It's quite a square free kick, so they're gonna have to get an angle, and it's headed out. Poor free kick, really. And Son loses
Tackle.
out,
Loses
and
it.
Rodri can find
A slide tackle from Bernardo Silva.
Hey,
and it's
look.
blocked by Perisic.
He's playing a bit deeper today, isn't he?
He
Silva?
is, yeah.
He's gonna go. He's gonna go inside.
Will he shoot? Mahrez goes for goal, and it's a corner to Man City early on, headed away from Eric Dyer.
Yeah. He's
Have,
gonna go inside.
have Alvarez or Haaland played at Spurs' ground yet?
No. But Erling scored against us in the 4-2.
Okay.
I think Alvarez scored as well, right?
Just for like
Both of them.
just for like the mental side of getting over this curse of not being able to get a
It'll be
win here.
early.
Obviously, hopefully, I mean, just they've not played there, so hopefully that curse doesn't filter down to them.
Yes.
Well, hopefully,
Hopefully
from
it
their
does.
perspective. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Ty Quadruple says, bring back the sofas. I'm telling you now, I'm so tired. Oh,
There you go.
Oh, it's a cross goal header from
There you go.
Ake, and it's.
Thought Emerson was going to score an own goal there.
Oh,
if we'd have had the sofas today, I'd probably been asleep by now.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's over.
no, they do keep you up, these chairs, literally. But yeah,
Sink into them.
I miss the sofas, to be honest. They're a bit more comfy, but again, you don't want to be
prefer the
falling
chairs.
asleep. And I've done that.
Yeah.
Has
So was
anyone
Robbie. I
seen Ty?
see a clip of Robbie.
Oh,
What
that
are
was
you
a great
doing?
clip.
Yeah.
Haaland.
Can you get a shot off?
Losing out so far in their own area, they're putting
Just
themselves
get
in
away.
danger.
Bernardo with
Oh,
another
That's a
slide
corner
tackle
as well. That's a corner.
No, us. Goal kick.
That is a corner, yeah.
Oh.
Bernardo
Poor
putting in
from
a
Emerson.
shift. There's talk of him leaving a couple of seasons ago, and I really thought
Still
he'd come
is
to
now.
Arsenal.
Yeah,
Still
still-
is apparently
still-
leaving.
Still wants to leave.
Like I
He's
said,
definitely somebody I would take it over. He's
it's
probably the number one player that I would take at
okay.
Arsenal, genuinely, more than Haaland, more than Kevin De Bruyne, genuinely.
They're starting to become your feeder club, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, we were just trying to get them back for all the years that we were their feeder club, you know,
Yeah.
so it's all fair.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout.
We helped build them. They used to have an Arsenal.
Chance, Alvarez, great block.
Great strike as well.
First
Go on,
big
Son.
chance of
Go
the
on, boy.
game, and
Hold
Son
it up.
wins it back. That's a foul.
Foul?
That's obviously that's a yellow
There's
card.
a couple little fouls
maybe
in
as
there.
well. Good shot though from Alvarez, and City look to right their previous wrongs here.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Veranda saying, has anyone seen Ty last seen before the Everton game? Wonder what he had to say about Neil Maupay's antics yesterday. Old Ty.
What are
That
you
would've
looking
been
for
good
after
view.
the game?
I'm actually gonna. I didn't actually see his fan cam. It's gonna be good viewing when I get.
Yeah, I
home.
might have a watch of that in a minute.
Might have to clip it up at half time. Why not? Whilst we're talking about Everton, little shout out for production.
Rico Lewis is so good. He's just playing multiple different positions. He's like there's Zinchenko.
Yeah,
Well,
that's,
they-
he's dropping
Yeah.
into the set essentially.
Yeah, it's mad how inverted Pep has his wingers. Did you see Martinelli's average position yesterday? And how he literally had no help from that whole side, as
Yeah.
Zinchenko was pretty much in the centre circle. for
Yeah.
most
He
of
was
the game.
rubbish yesterday.
Who?
Zinchenko, yeah, he was terrible.
Who's that?
Zinchenko.
Thought he was rubbish.
Yeah, I thought he was terrible.
I disagree with that.
I think Martinelli was.
I thought he was poor as well, yeah.
Yeah, Martinelli was poor yesterday, yeah, but not Zinchenko. I think that's unfair.
Disagreement in the studio.
It's a game of opinions, mate, isn't it?
That's what it is.
Win the ball.
Ty didn't do a fan cam, Lewis is saying in
Played.
here. Did he? Can we get a confirmation on that? Surely he did.
Oh,
Surely he did.
Played.
Really enjoying Bernardo in this more aggressive role.
Zinchenko was not poor, says ISG.
Let's get rid
There's
of
a
the
man
ball.
that knows his football.
There was no fan
I
cam
thought
from
he-
Ty. I
I thought
wonder
he was
where he was
poor.
hiding.
I didn't
Nah,
think he
he
offered much, to be honest. That's all.
That's
I don't
offside.
think
No,
he
no,
was-
like I say, you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
I think he's okay. I think the whole team was off it yesterday. Our entire team was off it. Nobody come out with a more than a 7 out of 10 performance. Everyone is pretty average, but I wouldn't single him out. If I was going to single someone out, maybe Martinelli, but then, you know, he didn't have a lot of help and a lot of service around him as well. So
Everton played well yesterday, though.
they did play really
they
well.
played
Yeah,
really well. That was the best game of the season.
I'm a big fan of Sean Dyche as well. I really
Well, let's
like
talk about Sean Dyche a little bit more. Is he the man to keep them up? And what did they show yesterday that they haven't shown so far this season? Because if you look at the form, few wins in the last months, really.
They
Fight.
And then-
I was going to say that's
Fight,
exactly
yeah.
the word I was going to say. Fight. The first thing they showed yesterday was fight. They were winning every first challenge, and any first challenge they didn't win, they won every single second ball. Lots of pressing, lots of athleticism in the midfield. As soon as I saw that midfield,
No.
Anana,
Gay.
Idrissi Gay, and
Yeah.
and who's the third one? And
Decore,
Decore.
yeah.
I thought, okay, this could be a long day. We've got 3 big, strong athletes, and I know Ghana's not very big, but the rest of them, 3 athletes in there, running, putting in challenges, going to do a lot of the dirty work. And Onana, every time he won a tackle, he just set them off and he was away. But I think Sean Dyche is a better manager than he gets credit for. Obviously, he'd done really amazing things with limited resources. Mahrez coming forward now, by the way, just in case they go on to create something. But I think there's a narrative that he just plays this Route 1 old school English football, and I don't actually think that that's true. I think that's a little bit unfair to him. And I think maybe a lot of that bias is because he's English. But I do think he's a really decent manager for a certain type of. He has to have a certain type of player to work with him, like most managers do.
He's one of them managers that are unfashionable.
Yes.
You know, no one ever talks about Sean Dyche in this. You know, you never heard Sean Dyche's name mentioned for an England job. You know, he done unbelievable things with no money
Yeah.
at Burnley. Nothing.
Yeah.
He found some real cracking players. Got the best out of what he had, and he's already instilled in Everton something that they've lacked for a long time, and that's fight and belief.
Yeah.
They believed. Yeah, I believe after you see it growing into them. They believed. Yeah, this system is working. We're
Yeah.
believing in what the manager's doing. But a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about Moyes going, and I said I wouldn't mind Sean Dyche. People were laughing at me.
Yeah.
Well, why are they laughing? What has he ever done wrong?
Similarly, before we got Emery years ago, I was in favour of getting Eddie Howe, and because I thought we need a young manager, rebuild, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was a similar type of thing. He wasn't the sexy choice, and so
No.
people sort of laughed that out of the park. But But yeah, I think I agree with you about Sean Dyche. Definitely doing things in the modern day with no money is really, really impressive.
You mentioned how he's had limited resources and what a job he's done keeping Burnley in the Premier League for so long. Gets another chance now at Everton. How far could he take Everton if he was to get a bit of budget behind him, a bit of spending power in the transfer windows? Because he is one of those managers that likes to work with what he's got. He gets the best out of his current crop. But if they were to invest a bit of money alongside the new stadium, if that gets finished, then obviously he needs to stay up for all of this to happen, really. But how dangerous could he be, or could they be, if he's given a few quid?
I don't know. I think he's a bit like Moyes. You know, it's you've never seen it. You've never seen it, so there's no previous track record to go on. Moyes is the same. Moyes was an excellent manager when he had limited resources, and they give him a little bit of money, and he seems to have gone backwards. So I'd be interested to see what he could do, but there's no guarantees that it'll get better. Sometimes it gets worse.
Well, they've spent over 500 mil, I think, in the last 10 years, and hasn't worked.
Some of the players that they've spent money on is
they've spent really poorly.
They spent poorly.
60 million on a Hjoberg, wasn't it?
Yeah.
40 was it? Yeah, ridiculous money on average players, and then players like Sigurdsson, who's
they just have
less said about him the better.
Everton just had a real identity crisis for a while, because they were going for like James Rodriguez and Carlo Ancelotti and people that you don't really associate with Everton. Then when they got Lampard, I think someone like Sean Dyche has more managerial. I know he wasn't the player Lampard was, obviously, but it has much more managerial gravitas than Lampard does. Much more respect he commands in the dressing room, things like that.
Dyche is the only managerial appointment, especially under this regime, that actually makes sense.
That's what I mean about the identity crisis. When they're getting Carlo Ancelotti in, it just doesn't make any sense for some of the players.
It's a false hope, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very, very strange.
The weirdest one was...
It's a great ball.
That's a great ball. Oh, good defending. The weirdest one was Rafa. I think Rafa is a good manager at that level.
On paper, it made sense. For that club,
it doesn't make any sense.
Even the fans didn't want him.
But when you take in the context, and with hindsight, you look back, you think, how was that decision even made?
That was one of those football decisions though that people said was bizarre at the time. It's not like normally in football everyone goes, "Oh, this is amazing," and then in hindsight you go, "But at the time, the fans said we don't want this guy."
Yeah, for sure.
But Ancelotti didn't make sense either.
Ancelotti didn't make sense. When I knew it was a sticky one for them is when they were in a relegation scrap and they got in. I know they need players on loan, finances, whatever. They got in Dele Alli, who's from Spurs, and was lacking. His real weakness was drive, competitive, work rate, and then they got in Donny van der Beek, who'd been at Ajax. Yes, he was at Man United at the time, but those are not players for a Premier League relegation battle. Very, very strange.
I also do think that the Everton fans do have a little bit of a role to play in that, because they was never going to give Rafa any time. As soon as he made one mistake, they was going to be on his back because they didn't want him. But they also turned their nose up at Sam Allardyce, who I thought at the time he's not an attractive manager, a bit like Dyche. He's not an attractive manager. He's not a manager that's going to pull up any trees, but he's going to be someone who's going to stabilise the club and have you comfortably finishing mid to lower mid table. And at the time, Everton felt we're beyond that and all that. And now, they find themselves in real trouble.
Chance for Tottenham here. Hjoberg wins it on the edge of the box. Kane! Goal! Goal for Tottenham. One chance, one goal. And Harry Kane, after 15 minutes, has pounced
mistake. You see what we were talking
alongside
about
Kulusevski and made Man City pay.
It's been about 85% Man City. Man City have had all the possession, and they had so much possession they almost fell asleep.
Oh dear.
Come on,
Man City had so much possession they almost fell asleep. The defenders just lagging on the ball, buffering. Hjoberg nicks in, and then that's it.
Hjoberg assist.
Kane scoring against a team that he could have joined last season.
Tottenham's overall top goal scorer now. That was the goal.
Yes. He's now Tottenham's all-time leading goal scorer. Well done, dude.
He's Jimmy Greaves, mate.
Brilliant from Hjoberg, who gets the ball off the defence, finds Kane, who has to just slot it in. But Rodri trying to find Rico Lewis. Hjoberg too strong for him, and Kane, one shot, one goal, and he is now all-time leading goal scorer for Tottenham Hotspur into the ground, and it's past Ederson. And City again find themselves chasing the game at Tottenham away. Unbelievable start here for Tottenham. 15 minutes in.
Come on.
He's tried to hit the old Ozil bounce. He's trying to hit, you know what I mean, off the floor.
Hemal saying, yes, Arsenal will win the league. Thank you. Mr. Messi B says, Kane wants a gooner. Always a gooner, he says there as well.
Come on,
267
Kane,
goals for Harry Kane. Congratulations to him.
He had 200 Prem goals as well.
That's unbelievable.
201 or something.
60 away now from
Yeah,
Shearer.
Shearer, yeah.
Wow.
That's a good graphic in that, but I think that's something you should have put on the screen
At the
before
end
the
of the
next
game.
home game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
you're
seems
gonna
a
look
bit
at it
risky
stupid now,
during
they
the
get beat
game.
4-1.
Yeah.
4-1, yeah.
Because I did say whoever scores first could go on to lose. Because you guys have this, because you don't play for 90 minutes, you play
Yeah.
for 45 minutes,
well.
albeit you haven't really been playing. City have dominated the ball. But you know that they can just come back. Once they score, that will be it. Floodgates open.
We ain't
but-
even played well this half, though.
Exactly,
We
yeah.
played okay. Well, we've kept them at bay.
That's why some people argue about whether or not Harry Kane's a world class striker, but that's why I think he is.
That's
because
not an argument.
You can be playing poorly and he's going to find a goal. He gets one chance, he's going to find the goal. You know, that's what you need.
Mate, he's
Excellent
got
from
7. He's got
Hjoberg.
17 this season now, isn't it? 17.
Yeah.
He's up there. I mean, if Haaland wasn't
Yeah.
so far ahead, Kane is pretty far ahead himself in second place. AGT, you look done in, says Scouse African. Yeah, you don't have to say it, mate. I was trying to hide that, but cheers, thank you. Obviously, Liverpool are pants right now. Haaland rarely plays well in Big Six games, says Mr. Hussein. 2 minutes, £2 Snapchat. I mean, we're only
hope that's
16
true.
minutes in. Let's not jinx it. The Foxes,
Don't get a
Kyle,
booking.
Super Chat. Arsenal fans want both Spurs and Man City to lose
It's true.
as City win the ball back. And his Rico Lewis
Poor
going through the
passing.
middle.
This is what we do, man. After we score, we just play
And
poor.
Grealish, what can he do on the edge? And Tottenham breakaway again. Just going back to Everton though, gents, just to finish off that chat. They're in 16th right now, 17th. I think they're just in 17th after
Yeah,
that
yeah,
win
18th
yesterday.
They're
They're still in the bottom three?
Yeah.
Oh, because of today's result.
today's
Oh,
result.
right,
yeah.
okay. So they're back in the bottom three now, Everton. 2 questions for all of you, really, and quick answers as well. Does he keep them up? And if he does, where can they go? Where can they end up in this table, considering where they are now?
I think they'll stay up.
Yeah, I think they'll start. I think he'll keep them up. I think they'll finish bottom half, but he'll keep them up. Yeah, 100%.
Agreed.
I think
Everyone-
that team that played yesterday can stay up.
It's the manager.
Yeah.
It's like he is somebody that you like. I just think he's so. I think he's so underrated. I could see them finishing like 15th, but I think that the fans have to be aware of just
Accept
stability
reality. Yeah.
first, and then you need to build from a platform. They need to be comfortable with just getting stable first. They've had a real. Well, they're still in it. If they survive, they've had a real relegation scare this season. They've just got to build a foundation and then go from there, and obviously empower their manager.
Diaz,
to-
done.
Strike.
Great, Bernardo's all over the place.
So
Very
15th
in a
tops
good
for
way.
you? Is that,
Yeah, I think yeah.
Reality, yeah,
I
I
think
think-
15th is probably yeah.
so they scrape it, Nicky, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they scrape it. Yeah,
15th?
yeah, 15th. Yeah,
15th.
they just got to accept that they're in where they are. That's what they have to do as a club. Just accept where they are.
Because yesterday was good. They played as perfectly as I know they missed a couple of chances, but the game plan was as perfect as can be. They're still going to have off days as well. We're assuming they're going to go and play every game like they played yesterday, and realistically they're not. You know, he's probably said to them, if you lose this game, you're having another bleep test. You know, but that's not going to work every week. There will be off days.
He's also got a few players that he's worked with in the past. I
Yeah.
think that helps.
Yeah,
you know,
of course,
because
yeah.
that helps bleed.
Dwight McNeil.
James
Tarkowski.
Tarkowski, Michael
yeah.
Keane.
Yeah,
You know, he's worked with these players before. He knows these players. These players know him. So they've already got them players that are going to be preaching the message to the other players and saying like, listen, focus on what you're saying because he knows what he's doing, and it helps.
So it was his players that got him out of track that got the win yesterday. McNeil assist for Tarkowski, innit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, there you go. And listen, it's the Merseyside derby next for Everton and obviously for Liverpool. Both teams struggling massively right now. Let us know in the comments what you think about Sean Dyche and Everton right
Everton
now.
should actually go into that game with more confidence.
Yeah, I think they'd probably win, if I'm honest. If we play them tomorrow, I think they'd beat us. Is what it is. Brilliant.
You're really defeated.
Yeah, totally, mate, totally. Yeah,
It's the rebuild.
20 minutes in. Tottenham 1, Man City 0. Let us know in the comments how you found this one so far. I think there was a couple of comments saying it was a bit of a snooze fest, but then when Tottenham scored, Now it looks like City are going to have to come back in the first half and
I know
do
Man
something.
City is still competing at the top level in the Premier League, but are they in a transition as a team as much as you guys are? Not as much as you guys are. Obviously, you guys got injuries as well, but are they trying to transition sort of before it tails off, if you know what I mean, rather than wait for it to tail off?
Potentially, there is something happening there that isn't necessarily what's been happening in the last 4 or 5
Then
years.
some of their nailed-on players are, João Cancelo, Bernardo, Kevin De Bruyne. Obviously, Aguero's gone. He's obviously he's older.
gone.
Sterling gone.
Jesus.
A lot of the core of that team is gone now.
I think Pep. It's funny with
Big
City.
up Cecil in the chat. Harry Kane, a real gooner.
It's funny with City because I think with Pep, because their squad is just stacked, and I think since Pep's been there, he's won 4 out of the last 5. They've won everything, really, apart from the Champions League.
Obviously, yeah.
And I think, remember, it goes back to what Alex Ferguson said, every 5 years he'll refresh his team.
Every
I
2
think,
or 3 years,
2 or
I'd
3
say.
That's what we're seeing with City, but because the players are so... They'll walk into everyone's first team, we're like, wow, he's getting rid of... But he's just going through his own refreshing the squad, I think.
Yeah.
And I think, that's all. It's just magnified because it's City.
Their João Cancelo is our Kieran Tierney.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Basically.
That's basically what it is, and...
You may also have too many options, which
Yeah.
could be something that I think Chelsea could run into as well. Is have it, you want your nailed on 11 with a few players on the bench that can do a bit, and having Chelsea's obviously an extreme case, but having 2s and 3s in every position is going to give you so much to think about. City properly trying to fight back here, still dominating the ball.
Tell you what,
but-
Emerson Royale's having a good game
he's been playing defensively well.
so far.
I do think, as I said before, I think he tries to be too clever sometimes. Pep.
Ooh, that was naughty there, but play will continue. No, it won't. Referee not really in control of this game, but he gives a yellow card to
Hjoberg,
Bentancur. It was a bit of a nasty late challenge that on Rico
Can't
Lewis.
figure
who again-
Bentancur out. I can't decide whether he's good or
Something
not.
good.
Spurs fans keep telling me he's good, and every time I
think
watch
he's
him,
good,
I don't see anything good happen.
Yeah, he
But
transitions the ball. He transitions the ball every time he gets the ball. Looks forward. He's a good little midfielder.
That was naughty. But is there an argument, Nicky, that they should have played on there?
Probably should have, yeah. You can give that booking after. I thought,
7
when
yellow
he stopped
cards
the game
now
there, I thought he was
for
going to get a red.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they was in an attacking position. They should have just carried on.
Bernardo Silva telling Harry Kane to shut up then. I just saw. Lip read. Free kick for City. What's the hold up here? Are they maybe looking to see if it's a red? No, he's just walking. Getting the old 10-yard steps in.
There's no way a red.
No,
Nah,
of course not.
Never in a million years.
Never.
But then again, you never know, do you? With these referees these days.
Can't believe he didn't start KDB, says Travarelli.
Do you think Pedro Porro coming in is going to spur on him?
Oh, Kulusevski has absolutely left Mahrez for dead. Grealish in the left back position now, having to track back and help. But he's done well. He's done well, Grealish.
Well done, Grealish. Well done.
Carve's got him out of trouble there.
Grealish
away,
has done
yeah.
well so far. I'm not a big fan of Jack Grealish, but he has played well so
What's he
far.
stopped the game? What's he stopped the game for?
Not really in control of this one right now, Andy Madley.
No authority, no gravitas.
Gravitas.
He's not letting the game flow as well.
Yeah.
Checking out them kind of ones. Oof, not the best start for City. It looks like Rico Lewis is the most central player for City right now.
Tackle,
and again,
Rodri caught
come
in
on.
possession once again.
That's a foul, surely.
You've got to play to the whistle first, boys. I mean, everyone's just stopped there, assuming it's a foul. No one.
Held him back. He put his arm around his waist. Let's tangle.
There's letting things go, and then there's not blowing for obvious fouls, and that should have been a foul.
What did you think of the Casemiro red?
I only saw I think it's a little bit unfortunate actually.
Yeah.
When I saw the clips on Twitter, it looked bad, and then when I saw the actual whole thing
It's a red card.
in
though.
context,
Do you think
it
so?
Red
looked-
card.
Yeah, he's
Do you-
racist.
it's a
actually.
red card.
Yeah.
Not just one hand, by the
But
way.
No,
the
both hands,
problem that you have from a Man United perspective, if we're being fair, is that in that melee of what was happening,
A
a
lot was
lot
going
of
on.
players raised their hands. So
I didn't see anyone doing
no,
that.
no,
mate.
no one did that. But if it's raising your hands, then a
I
lot
think
of
there's-
people have got to go.
There's raising your hands in a cheeky way where you could do that and maybe catch someone, but to be as obvious as grabbing someone
Do you
by
think
the neck.
you should have got a red card?
Um,
Slapping people in the face in the middle of the. It wasn't just a cheeky one. It's like in the middle of a.
Potentially.
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 That's why I think Man United fans feel hard done by.
They always feel hard done by.
No, of course.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel sorry for them.
I have no empathy for them either, to
I
be
wouldn't
fair.
feel sorry for them.
They spent 20 years cheating.
They also kept telling us how experienced he was
Ooh,
with
They get on
five.
my wick.
That's
they
a
do,
booking.
United fans,
Or red.
honestly.
That's a yellow, isn't
Yellow.
it? To
Romero has to be Rash.
Romero again.
Romero's so
yellow.
He's another player that
How many
you guys
yellows
love
has
him.
he
And I
got
just
now?
He's about 8.
It's dangerous, though.
Yeah, that was dangerous.
Let's have a
You
look.
didn't have to do that.
Oh my word.
My God.
What is he
that
doing?
looked personal.
Even Tottenham fans had their mouths open then.
Tottenham fans in shock. It's the UFC challenge. That was just
Jeez,
bizarre.
that is, I mean, you can't be doing
why
that.
would
That
he
is his
do
sixth
six?
yellow
Yeah,
card
six.
now. If there's one criticism I've got of him, and again, I saw him play in the World Cup,
Yeah.
he's too rash.
He's too right. He's aggressive, very aggressive. I like the aggression, but he's just so.
He's beyond
rash.
aggressive. He's stupid. That's it. That's in the Man City half. That there's no danger to your goal there at all. He's got a yellow card for no reason.
Oh, this foul
Ooh.
game. Come on, ref, man.
Rico Lewis having a very good game in central midfield.
The referee needs to get hold of this one, otherwise this is going to end up
Yeah.
a slogfest.
This is
Have a
what, this is
talk.
how
Have a
Spurs
talk
play,
over
though.
it.
To be fair, this is how they play. If they can get a goal up, they will just start kicking you.
Yeah.
Proper old school English football. Apart
Referee
from
is not doing
apart
a
from
great
Romero
job.
just fouling
Is that a
people, I
drop
really
ball?
don't see what he does.
How is
How's
that?
that jump
No,
ball
it's
for
How
the
can you have a drop ball and tell him to walk away? If it's a drop ball, he's got every right
Oh my goodness.
to go for it.
Andy Madley having a howler so far as Perisic intercepts a dangerous pass and then clears it away.
Get on the floor.
Romero
bro.
is a nut in the
Go on,
comments.
Kane.
Oh,
Go
good
on.
ball.
Go
Kulusevski,
on.
another chance for
Go on.
Tottenham.
Deal with Ake. Deal
got
with
to
him.
cut
Deal
in
with
there,
him.
is
You
the
got
only
to cut
problem.
him.
Will he beat
Deal with him.
Ake? Finds Son. Chance to shoot is there. Out to Emerson.
Nothing.
They've got to use
Nothing's gonna
Kulusevski.
In the box,
Kulusevski's
this
still
is
there.
still-
He's there waiting for the ball all day.
Corner.
Gets a corner. Well
It's
played.
terrible decision making from Spurs. That
Oh,
should
no,
have
he
been a
should've-
shot on
should've-
target
yeah.
at least. Should have been a shot on target.
City under the cosh.
We need another one.
Half an hour in. Just short.
You know the old saying, though, 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline.
No, no. Well, we found that out.
Goals from
17.
corners this season. Tottenham with 10.
It's that
the
Vio
most.
guy. Gio. What's his name? Gio. Oh, that corner set piece coach we got.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a throw-in coach, I think, a few years ago, and it led to more goals.
Yeah.
So
They teach you throw yourselves on the floor.
I don't know. Well, have some respect. Go on the league.
go
Your clubs benefiting
good
from
ball.
VAR more than anybody else.
Doesn't that tell you something though, that we've had the most decisions unfairly given to us, and
Oh,
VAR has
right.
shown.
Or
The
VAR,
right
or
decision
VAR
was made.
check your
Chasing
decisions,
you
check
VAR,
more
bro.
than other clubs. It could also mean
Well,
that
it could,
because a
but-
lot of us just don't get VAR checks.
Well, I mean,
So there you go.
if they were the wrong decisions in the first place, then they obviously needed checking. No,
I
City
agree.
are slacking
Come on,
a little
come
bit,
on,
look at
boys.
this.
This is what happens when there's no KDB on the pitch. He's the glue, whether people like it or not. He is that glue that can, he's just got so much calm. Yeah, it just doesn't look like the City of a season or two ago, and I guess it's not. There's a lot of new faces, but yeah, very, very different. The style, you're sitting there now. Like I said, we all thought they're going to run away with the league. They're the best team, one of the best teams in Europe,
Go on.
and they're adding a top
Go
striker,
on.
but it just doesn't seem to work.
Switch it.
Good ball.
Kulusevski having a good game so far. Oh, they've got space and time.
It's poor decision making again, really.
Could have just took him
City
on.
not looking good though here, I have to say.
They aren't, but it's so strange. Like they're both teams that don't have to look good to get goals. With Haaland and
Kane.
with Alvarez, and
Yeah.
obviously Kane for you guys. Like anything can happen.
Come on,
Jean-Pierre.
ref, man. Ref. Foul. Come on.
Jean-Pierre in the comments, he says, "I'm so conflicted as as a Spurs fan. We need points, but we don't want to help Arsenal."
Do you know what?
You just got to
Yeah.
focus on yourself,
Yeah,
mate.
focus
Focus
on
on
the
yourself.
team, man.
Focus on yourself.
What is the point of having them areas if they never enforce them having to stay in
technical areas.
Yeah, what is the point?
But that's
So
like
who's the worst for that? Arteta.
Jesse Marsch.
let's not do
Yeah.
No,
this. Let's
all
not
the
do.
Arsenal
Arteta.
fans last week on here said he's the worst.
I don't care what they
He-
said.
Okay. Well, I'm just telling you, he is factually one of the worst. He got booked for it against
Jesse
Liverpool. I
Marsh
think.
is really bad. What is the point in having them
But I mean,
boxes? It's a waste of time.
The thing with football though is this why VAR sort of waste
ball,
time is because
ball.
everything's.
Oh,
most of
Kulusevski
the
makes some
rules aren't-
space, goes for
Great
goal.
tackle.
Look.
He's got numbers over the
City
decision.
all over the place
decision
here.
making from
Another touch.
Sixes
Spurs.
and sevens.
City are all over the place, but
They're
the
giving the ball
decision
away.
making from the final third is awful. Not
Took
awful.
another touch, man.
That's over the top, but they've got passes there. They're not playing. But yeah, most rules in football are not properly enforced.
It's like
if you
the
read
6-second keeper rule.
yeah, exactly.
That's
Do you
a
know what I
load
mean?
of
These
rubbish.
stuff's never enforced.
Perisic with the
Corner.
cross caught by Edison. But yeah, that's sick. I remember playing as a kid, and if the keeper had it in his hands, because I was that kind of player, I'd start counting out loud up
Yeah.
to 6, and then as soon as I get past 6, I'd do that to the ref. Then he tells him to hurry up. It's just how it goes. Isn't
Like
it?
I said on one of the shows we did before, like we have to get referees doing post-game interviews like managers do.
You'll never get that.
I know, and
You'll
of
never
course,
get
but
that.
like
We've seen it
it
sometimes.
would change. It would just change the game
A
completely.
lot of other sports, America do that a lot. In America, they have a lot of like
The Americans do anything
I
for
get that.
anything. Yeah, it's like content, isn't it? Well,
I guess you wouldn't need them to come out and do these interviews after a match if they were mic'd up during a match. Because
They can't be mic'd up during a match though. Not
Because of
not
the
in,
swearing
it's definitely not in the Premier League. No
No.
way. Yeah. I personally
Well,
like.
Howard Webb spoke about it on Friday Night Football, didn't he? He came
Yeah.
out and said that they were looking to do that. He's the head of the PGMOL,
Yeah.
is it?
The thing is,
So
I
it
don't
could be
mind. I
something
don't
we see.
mind. It's not. I don't mind. Everyone hates bad decisions going against them when it goes against them. But it's if they just said it openly. You know what? I didn't see that foul. If you look at
Yeah.
my angle, this player was in front of me. I apologise. Then fair. It will all come out in the wash. But you know, there just seems to be no accountability. Basically,
City paid the ref, says Nitrocus in the comment. Thank you, Tottenham. Finally doing us a favour, says the high
it's not-
score.
it's not
listen.
over yet.
Remember
We
last
were
time
2-0 up.
Tottenham
We
were
were
2-0
2-0
up. They lost it. So
Last
That's
time
true. 4-2 that game, yeah?
we were 2-0 up, and then Arsenal fans were thanking me at half time.
Coys. Let's go Arsenal, says Peter in the comments. But here's City on the break, and Grealish crosses it, and it's headed away from Ben Davis.
Grealish is not a great player. He's a great dribbler. He's not a great passer of the ball. Genuinely, like
And can they break again
Chance to
now,
break,
Tottenham?
send him, let him go. There we go.
Let him go at him. Take him.
But
I
there's
have
no
more
rush.
confidence to run
There's
it.
no rush. 1-0 up. Happy days.
This was going to be a mental battle. So if they do go 2-0 up, they've got to be thinking about that last time. They were
I know the
2-0 up.
last game, innit? But that was all defensive errors. I'm telling you.
Hjoberg down.
Somebody just said to me, I don't want to hit. Dave 109 says, I don't want to hear people saying Roger is the best DM. Is shocking simple as.
It's true.
I had
It's-
these arguments last season. They was telling me he was better than Declan Rice, and he simply isn't.
He
Oh,
was
they
he was
clashed.
he was much better last season than the season before that. He's had good seasons and good individual games, but you can't when you're in a team of superstars, you just can't. Do you know what I mean? Like one of the reasons we know Harry Kane is as good as he is because he's in a team which isn't filled with amazing talent and winning loads of trophies and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Same as Declan Rice with you guys, with respect. That's why you know these guys are so good. When you've got a midfielder,
He's one of the best performers for England.
who's that?
Declan Rice.
But that's what I'm saying. When you've got a midfielder like Rodri, who's in a midfield of stacked top talent, it's difficult to say how good they are because how good would they be in any other situation? Does that make sense? It's like screaming that a goalkeeper's really good if they've got an unbelievable defence. They're never really tested.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, it looks like Hjoberg is injured, yeah?
Yeah, it looks
I
like
think it was a
It's
clash
in-
with Jack Grealish.
What's your asking price for Declan Rice in the summer?
£200 million.
Maybe you'll get relegated
Well,
now.
back to
Just
How long's he got left in the contract?
2 years?
2 years. Yeah.
2.5 years?
what if you get relegated? What's that go down
He ain't
to?
going to you anyway.
If you got relegated,
He ain't gonna
I'm
win the
just
league.
asking. No one's asking about winning the league. Top four's our target for this season.
Listen, do you know what? I've had enough of Arsenal fans this week. I've
just
had
a
enough
question.
of them. No, I respect you, but listen, this is why I don't like. This is why I sort of hope that Arsenal don't win the league now because they're coming. They're talking to me in my. And they've done this since the beginning of the season with my predictions. They get offended by my predictions, by my opinion.
Yeah.
When I said that Gabriel Jesus wouldn't score 10 goals this season, and even the production staff that support Arsenal were mocking me. It's February. He still isn't playing. By default, he can't score 10 goals. When a couple of my guys on West Ham Fan TV last year said he may have bigger ambitions than Arsenal. What? He's got bigger ambitions than winning the league? We haven't won the league. You haven't won the league yet. You know, wait for the fact before you talk about.
They are talking like the league's wrapped up.
Yeah. The 10 goal a season thing, was that taken into account injuries as well? You're saying no.
All I said is he wouldn't. I don't think he would score 10 goals this season. He had 5 by August. They were saying to me, "This is Geezer's a clown. He's going to have 10 goals by the end of September."
But still thinking that he won't get 5 goals between now and the end of the season is.
He only got 5 at the beginning.
You don't think he'll get 5 for the rest of the season?
I don't think it was an outrageous prediction. And they're talking.
I think Nketiah's a better finisher than him. Me personally, I think Nketiah.
He's not a better finisher.
He is better finisher than Jesus.
He's not.
He is. Clearly, he is, bro.
So how much would you pay for Jesus and how much would you pay for Nketiah? Would you pay more for?
It's not about what you pay. It's
I'm
what
just asking
I see.
you.
It's what
I'm asking you.
How many goals has Nketiah got this season?
More than Jesus.
Who's your top goal scorer?
Nketiah.
Yeah.
Jesus injured.
But even if
he's on crutches.
Even if he was awake, bro, Nketiah's a better finisher than Jesus.
Good tackle.
And you've seen it seasons at City.
That's like me saying, oh, you're talking about. That's like me comparing Jesus to Richarlison. How many league goals Richarlison doesn't play? It's not a fair comparison, is it?
All right.
He's got no league goals.
Me personally feel I don't think Jesus
that one can rumble on in the comments for all the Arsenal fans. But going back to you, Nicky, I mean, I spoke to you about the time in Qatar when I was with Declan Rice's brothers.
Yeah.
And they were very complimentary of Liverpool, I have to say. But how are you as a West Ham fan dealing with just constant links for your best player to leave? I mean, we've seen Chelsea in the mix, we've seen Arsenal, we've seen Liverpool, there's probably a couple more as well. But Arsenal fans maybe think that, well, Nick's just asked you what the asking price is. What is the asking price and how have you dealt with all these rumours?
I don't know what the asking price is. I mean, I can only go by. I'm a fan, you know. If I was asking for the money, I'd ask for £1 billion. But I'm not. But
I mean, what we're saying is like, is there a number where you would be disappointed? Is there a number if he went for 30 million, you go, oh, you know what?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm disappointed. But so what's the edge of that number? What's the number where you go, you know what?
100.
Fair play. We got good money for that.
I think it's 75.
No, I think
75 million. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's I think it's more than fair. Because, you know, when you look at the types of
I think it'd be more
Harry
than
Maguire
75.
paying for £80 million.
I think it'd be more than
Your
75.
gaffer
So do
wants
I.
more.
I think he'll get 100.
He said it would be
yesterday
a
that he would break the British transfer fee, and I think he's right. The guy's unbelievable. He doesn't get enough credit. You know, you won't appreciate him until he's playing for your club.
If Enzo Fernandez can go,
Just
for
want to say,
120,
Declan Rice, we appreciate you
Declan
now
Rice
when you're
can
not
go
playing
for
for our
100.
club. I just want to make that clear.
You know what? It's just
This guy's shameless.
No, it is.
It's
I watched
shameless.
last week. I watched a
Get a room.
multinational sport, and this is why I think it's disrespectful. They talk about Arsenal, and it's not just Arsenal; it's every club. Yeah, but there was like. There's such a big six bias. Patrick Vieira come out last week and said there's such a big six bias.
That's
like,
true.
Yeah, you know, and then you know, I think I watched an interview with a friend of mine, James Alcott, who interviewed Foster. And he said, yeah, there definitely is. I watched a national sports encouraging Arsenal people that work for Arsenal to tap him up. You know, and all this talk about he's given his word to Arteta. If he's giving his word to Arteta, then they're speaking about it, and that's a tapping up. You know, you're not allowed to do that. So, you know, let's get some facts out. Let's get some facts out. And
You're not allowed to tap up players from other teams.
No, of course not.
No.
It's illegal. it's against league rules.
All right.
Well, I
Okay.
don't know. There's been a few examples.
Record labels aren't allowed to pay radio stations to get their music on the radio. That's illegal. You know, there's a lot of things that are illegal in it. But
Yeah,
you know.
but when you're watching nationals, but I think that's disrespectful to the likes of us. When they're they're giving them a platform to say, "What do you want to say to Declan Rice to get into Arsenal?" They're desperate for them players to go to Arsenal.
I get you. Obviously, Arsenal's a big six club. But I do get your frustration because when we were struggling, it was very similar. It was like, you know, if anyone came in and had a good season for us, they go. If they're really ambitious, they'd go to City. If they're really, it's like football has become that.
Disrespectful.
Football has become that. You know, there's 10 clubs in the world. I've got a couple of friends that do content. And they basically look at it like, if you're Neymar and Mbappe, you're great, and everyone else is trash. That's how they look at football. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with staying at your club long term. Harry Kane, Declan Rice, etc. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan. I want the best for us. But, you know, football's bigger than just the big clubs.
Yeah, and as well, you know, you mentioned there that Arsenal are in the mix to get him.
It's a great pass.
That was a
Rodri,
great
what can you do now?
Here.
Nathan H just said Sean Longstaff is in better
Tackle.
form than Declan Rice. We've had this argument. And it got put to bed many moons ago.
Rice might be worth 150
but again,
mil.
Sean
to
Longstaff is
Garcia.
playing in a better team, so it's
a
not
team
even
in better form.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would say, and that's form is everything.
Yeah.
You know, there are, like, you know, you have the same discussion with Alvarez and Haaland.
Yeah.
You know, Alvarez is in better form, but Haaland's ability is unquestioned.
Deck Rice is 80 million, says Nathan 8 in the comments.
Yeah, I think 80, 90
Rice
million.
easily worth 60, 70 mil. Let's not be silly, says Dave 109. Let's
Who
ask
just
you
support
as a-
Dave? Who just support Dave? That's what I would
Dave.
say. Who do you support?
It's not about who's being sick. You
That's
see
no
what the market is doing. Like you see Enzo Fernandez 100. He's not worth that.
Let's listen. If we're talking about the transfer market, let's just throw. In fact, if we're talking about football, period, let's just throw Chelsea out of it. Let's not entertain these jokers
But that's
because it's just
actually
not.
even
It's
if
just
you
a
look at other clubs,
nonsense.
That's the benchmark of the
Nah, that can't be that can't be the benchmark. You
That's
can't.
what's happening.
There's no way.
That's what's happening.
There's no way.
But
You
Nicky-
can't.
It's like, as a West Ham fan, I know it pains you hearing all these rumours. You don't want him to go. You want
He's
him to be
going.
another Mark Noble, but again,
going.
you're
He's
admitting
go-
that he's
he's
going.
gonna go.
However, if you could choose, which club would you choose for him to go
Real
to?
Madrid.
Real Madrid. Chance
Real
for
Madrid, and I
Haaland
think
to-
he's
All right,
that good.
which Premier League club?
Which Premier League
after
club?
after Jack Grealish cups in
Manchester
and
City.
shoots?
Man City. Grealish! Oh, it's just wide. But
can
which
hear
club
me.
would he go to in the Prem? City?
If they want him.
Well,
No, but
they want him.
if what
Man United? A
lot
would
of
cause you
people
the
want
least
him.
pain?
Man United.
Liverpool?
Anyone, I don't care.
Not
No,
don't care.
come on, Nicky. You do care. You do. 'Cause you don't want it
I'd like
be
to.
Chelsea, do you?
Man City, Liverpool,
Man United.
Not Arsenal.
Man United, Arsenal don't really care. I don't think that Arsenal will be there or thereabouts. You know, I think there's gonna. I think they will be in the running, but I don't think they're going to win the league. And I think there's other teams that could. I hate to say this because I really like watching Arsenal play, and it's going to come across like I'm salty, but there are teams that could fast track their way to where Arsenal are now, like Newcastle. You know, Newcastle having a great season. They've bought smart, and unfortunately, and this is what pains me the most. It's about money.
Well,
It's all about money.
This is the thing.
Everything. You
But
know,
just give us one club that you'd be like, Premier League club, put him there if he gets sold.
Manchester City.
City. Okay.
Yeah.
Just so we.
Fair enough.
Because I think he'll win the most trophies.
Most
there.
trophies there, yeah. Makes sense.
There you go.
This is the thing. I agree with you of us not spending money, but then we saw us try and go for Mudryk. We saw us try and go for Caicedo. So if we are,
and you
if we
got out-muscled by money.
100%, but if we are able to start competing in the transfer market at not even necessarily that level, but close to that level, our buyers are like 6, 7, 20, 25, 30 million. If we can compete close to that level, then I think that we can build something
Nick,
sustainable. But it will largely come down to money, 100%.
When we're talking about, you know, the price of Declan Rice, yeah,
Yeah.
and how much I'll say a figure.
Oh, a little
and-
back heel, Harry Kane.
Oh, how's he
another
not
chance.
scored?
Eric Dyer's
Goal
just
mouth
spamming
scramble.
shots. It looks like a
I'm
FIFA
saying
game.
And there's people in the oh, he's talking nonsense. 50 million. What's Saka worth?
150 mil, I reckon.
150.
Saka?
Relax
Yeah.
yourself, bro.
150.
And tell me any
Jesus.
What would you
argument-
what would you
half
sell
of that.
Son
How long's he
for?
got left in his contract?
What would you
That
sell
is
Son?
a
Well,
howler
he's
from
signed.
you, bro.
Yeah,
100 mil.
50
50
mil
for
now,
Saka.
50, 40
And how
mil.
old is he?
30, say.
Exactly. Saka's
40
21.
mil,
Saka's
50
21.
mil.
You've got 10 years.
150.
But how long's he got in
Yeah,
his
100%.
contract, though?
100%. If Sancho's 86
Not
mil,
even scored past 10 Premier League goals in a season, has he?
if Sancho's worth 80 mil,
150 mil.
150.
yeah.
Yeah, but this is
Jesus
the same
Christ.
argument, Nick. This is the same argument. the same things that you're saying to me
But
because
when-
we're outside the top.
No,
six.
no, no, no,
You should
no,
be
no,
trying
no,
to get
no, no,
6
no,
or
no,
7
no,
million
no,
for him,
no, no,
and they
no.
say 150.
No,
I
Nick,
heard
not at
someone
all.
say 300
For
million.
Saka.
Listen, not at all. When you said 80
is
mil, I
ridiculous.
said, yeah, okay. I'll
Yeah,
chat
you
I'll
know,
chat
To-
to
but
Edu.
to double that, that's taking the
I didn't
mick.
say, oh, that's nonsense. What you want
So
about?
if
I
someone,
said,
if someone
listen.
came in for 100 mil for Saka,
No.
you don't see your club
that
entertaining
is-
it.
that
That's
is
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
We'd entertain it.
That
I
is
think the club would
ridiculous.
entertain it.
There
but
was
I don't-
bit-
You're
I don't-
saying that you don't even believe
Nah, I
yourself. You're
wouldn't say
saying
that.
it
I
with a
wouldn't say-
smile, bro.
It's partly a lot of it
don't
is the
even
fact that it's come from
believe.
the academy and all the rest. If him and Martinelli were exactly the same ability, I'd feel more comfortable selling.
400 million. Someone saying in the comments.
Stop
For
looking at the
Saka.
comments.
No, I'm sorry, but this is
They're
this
obviously
is how
trolling. They're obviously trolling.
They're not trolling, believe me.
winding you
I'm
up.
not trolling, bro.
No.
Face to face that say
how
You're trolling.
They are happy to
Crazy.
sit here and say to me, "You are talking absolute nonsense.
crazy.
And then I say, how much would you take
How
for
much is
Saka?
Vinicius
No less than
Junior?
250 million.
How much
Vinicius
is Vinicius
Junior.
Junior? Yeah.
Oh, if PSG went to buy Vinicius Junior, he would be like 150, 200 million.
And then how much is Saka?
A little bit less. Between 100 and 150.
Never even
120.
played in the
Oh
Champions
my
League
God.
ever.
120.
Has he?
That's not down to him
But
alone.
Nick, it's all relevant. It's all relative to
150.
what he's worth to you.
I agree with you.
To what he's worth to you.
I've agreed with everything that
No,
you've
I know
said.
you have, mate. But I'm venting a little bit.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Well, listen, he is frustrated about the rumours surrounding Declan Rice, his captain, his leader, his best player.
Man,
No,
at
he's
his
happens.
going.
club.
He's
It
going.
happens, yeah, it
We're
happens.
you know, we're.
You bring
To
through the
be
next
honest,
one.
we are. The way we've gone this season, the kid deserves to win trophies,
Yeah,
and he's not
yeah.
going to win
Play
trophies with
Champions
us. He's
League
given us
football.
long enough. He's given us long enough.
Do
and
you
he's
think,
given-
off the back of that, do you think it's a bit unfair that Tottenham are keeping Harry Kane hostage?
No, we're not
And
keeping
not-
him hostage.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
He wants to stay. This is Boyhood Club, bro.
Fair
He
enough.
supports the club. That's who.
Hold on a
That's
minute.
This boy, that's, all right.
I
Here we
thought
go.
Arsenal
Here we
was
go.
it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Right,
Say
anyway.
that bit louder.
His Boyhood Club's
Oh,
not
it
Arsenal,
was.
mate. Ask him who he supports. He'll tell you.
Or chance for Mahrez. Goal! Oh, it's not a goal!
Good. I told
What
you.
a strike.
You see Mahrez. You see.
What a
My
strike.
word.
Trouble,
Did it take
bro.
a deflection? Was it a save?
That guy's trouble. I'm happy it happened at this time.
He brings it down,
What
and
a-
it's a
look,
clean
it's
strike.
great
It's
technique.
straight onto the bar.
Beaten Lloris.
Doesn't cross the line on the way back down. But there you go. There is all of our thoughts on the price of Declan Rice. That was like Brucey's price.
Price
is right.
of Declan Rice.
I couldn't
Play.
believe it.
Play.
Is Saka worth 150?
Play.
Is
That's a big
Rice
one.
worth
Minimum
over 100?
250. Look.
Play through.
It's crazy, isn't it? But there you go. Let us know in the comments what you think about this
Played
one.
Hjoberg through.
I thought Ty was a deluded Arsenal fan. Found one here, says Clara
Oh, yeah.
in the
No,
comments.
that's
Super
not fair.
chat. Diraj saying conspiracy theory. This ref is a City fan. He was the
Mudryk,
one.
100
I
mil.
think you're allowed
Never played in the
Newcastle
Premier
to
League.
waste too
Yeah,
much time and
exactly.
get away with drawings
Enzo,
to Arsenal.
105 mil. He got to Benfica this season. He's only
Yeah.
got 17 appearances for
and people
Benfica.
are saying in the chat, and I didn't read them out. Declan Rice couldn't lace Enzo's boots.
That's
see.
it's ridiculous.
Let's see.
No, it's ridiculous. I do see
Right,
a lot of
half
Declan
time.
Rice
Half
slander.
time.
Half time, Tottenham 1, Man City 0. 45 minutes in, Dean. Your team
Yeah.
are 1-0 up. They're
I'll
halfway
take that.
to doing this for not only you, but also Arsenal as well. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good with 3 points, boys, on the card. So, like I said, I'll take that if it stays like this. But we got to play better. I think we got to come out and go at them properly second half, and try to get a second goal. Yeah.
If you're a City fan, though, going in at half time, there's not been much to shout about, maybe apart from that Mahrez strike right at the end of the half, Nicky.
It's been a pretty poor game
Yeah.
in terms of quality in the final third.
Mm.
Tottenham, I think that was the complete. After about 22 and a half minutes, Tottenham started doing to what Man City were doing to Tottenham in the first, and that's winning up the ball high. Lots of mistakes, a bit like the last game. Lots of mistakes. Looking at, City more than Tottenham, looking shaky at the back. But he's going to get into them at half time now.
Yeah,
and he's got
100%.
substitutions to make. So yeah,
We'll see.
We'll see.
Well, speaking of Pep, right, I wanted to touch on his man management skills and also look into how they've maybe changed or how they've maybe changed due to the fact that out of nowhere we're seeing an Arteta challenge him now. We're seeing Klopp going head-to-head with him for years. We've seen other teams across different clubs that he's managed have real rivalries with the other big teams. But in terms of his man management skills, and I'm not saying he hasn't got them because clearly he does. You don't become this successful without having very intelligent, emotional intelligence when you're working with your players, right? You must know basically everything to keep everyone happy, but also stay winning as well. For him, losing the likes of João Cancelo, we obviously know of some other players that are fairly discontent at City. From what we believe anyway, there was 5 senior players that included, I think, Laporte, Gundogan,
Obviously Sterling going as
Sterling,
well.
and there was a couple others that Daps mentioned yesterday. But is he ruthless for what he needs and what City need, or is he maybe lacking something in terms of that man management ability to maybe keep everyone happy a little bit more? Because they've definitely not been the same this season than they were last year.
Yeah, I think the difficulty is man management's all about relationships, right? And obviously in football, we know these footballers have huge egos and all this type of stuff. And the more connected you get to someone, the more emotionally close you get to someone, as that relationship's on the way up, the more sour it's going to be when that relationship's on the way down. If he brings through Rico Lewis, now 18 years old, and he goes on to be the best player in the world, 23, 24, and he's just killing it, and he's like, Pep's like his dad, when he gets to 31, 32, and he has to say, listen, lad, it's coming to an end, I've got to ship you out, that relationship's going to be even harder. If that player's got some self-awareness and he knows in himself, look, maybe I'm not the level anymore, let me take a step down, then fair play. But most footballers and modern footballers don't have that. And they will throw a strop, and it can be really, really toxic to get players, to move on gracefully. So it's really difficult to have that man management in this sort of era of football, where everything's so, like we just spoke about before, so money focused, so ego focused, social media. Is really, really difficult to maintain a happy dressing room. And a lot of dressing rooms, like we see in the documentaries, have little factions. And if you upset one player, you're upsetting 3 or 4 other players that you may not have realised it was going to have that sort of knock-on effect. So yeah, I just think it's a near impossible job for him to do. And we know that in the past he's had a bit of a Marmite relationship where there are some ex-players who love him and some that just really don't like him and they were very successful together, but they still just don't gel as people. Ibrahimovic and Eto'o were the two I'm thinking of. Eto'o absolutely hates him as well.
I don't think Henry was that keen on him either, was he?
I don't think Henry didn't like him. Henry just struggled to play under him. He said like, I went under Pep, you do what Pep tells you. I broke out my position and scored, and Pep didn't care. He goes, listen, he hooked him off. So, but I don't think Henry doesn't like him. I just think he's just aware that everyone's different.
Yeah.
But definitely Eto'o and Ibrahimovic absolutely don't like him, and both prefer Jose over Pep as well. And then you have the same criticism of Jose sometimes. So not everyone. You need the right characters. We said this about Sean Dyche. Chelsea's first time Mourinho was managing at Chelsea, that was like the perfect blend of the type of character and the type of manager.
I mean, there are some weird characters now in football.
100%.
You get, when you look back to the likes of Roy Keane and Alex Ferguson's era, they were like drilled, like army. Win. You win at all costs. It don't matter about who's playing and who's not. We're winning. I don't care.
It's the golden era of football.
Golden era of football. Yeah. Roy Keane speaks about how I go and do my job. I do the best I can. Yes. It doesn't matter what's going on around me. It doesn't matter about my relationship with this player, that player, this manager, and whatever. I went to win. And then you've got, as great a player as he was, and I think he was one of the best players in the Premier League of all time. Yaya Toure getting upset that they didn't send him a birthday card. And like towards the end of his career,
I think it was a cake, and I take birthday cake very seriously.
Whatever it was, but it just shows you the difference in what you've got to manage now. And the differences. It's true.
There is some rose-tinted glasses though, because Roy Keane did have a falling out with the Ireland manager. He did have a falling out with Alex Ferguson as well.
He went to Ireland and they didn't send him footballs to train. I think he's got well within his rights to.
I think, and even with Vieira with Arsenal, for example, after the Invincible season, he said, "I want to go to Real Madrid. That's the pinnacle." And they said, "We've got big plans for you. Want you to stay?" And he said, "Okay, fine. I'll stay then. I love it here. I'll stay. That's fine." And then the next, after like 6 months, they came and said, "We've got an offer from Juventus. You're off, mate." So a lot of the time we don't know all the ins and outs of how. We hear a lot about the players. Oh, this guy's a weirdo. Look at his ego, and we don't necessarily hear.
That's because
about. Do you mean like the clubs? The clubs are run like a bit of a cabal. Like it's really difficult to get accurate information out of them. So, we don't know the ins and outs of the birthday cake situation. But broadly speaking, I really agree with you. And that's I think part of it is the money. Where the footballers then were on very, very big money, but it wasn't 24/7 like it is today. Do you know what I mean? We have some footballers now who are probably making more money off their social media than they're making from football.
Jesse Lingard.
So you don't necessarily have to. You look at someone like Xavi Simons, who was at PSG and Barcelona. He had millions of followers before he'd ever kicked a ball. He has actually gone on to be a very good player and has really good mental strength because he's doing really well at PSV Eindhoven at the moment. But he could have just been a social media star and not actually gone on to play football.
I think there's too many distractions in football now.
But I think it's
but isn't it Pep's
I agree with
job
you.
to make sure that those distractions don't get into the players' heads. We've seen various players at City doing, and again, listen, I'm not going to have a go at a player for doing a GQ campaign or what have you, but as Pep is, we know how controlling he wants to be over his team. Do you think he has to do a little bit more to maybe get everyone on board with the. I mean,
I
we
think he
weren't
has,
we weren't
though.
saying this 6 months ago.
Yeah,
It's only
that's-
recently
yeah.
that we're
But you got
maybe saying this.
I think he
you're a
has.
grown man, right? You
I
got
am, correct,
you got to
yeah.
think about. I haven't checked officially, but I'm assuming.
I have.
So, but you've somewhere along the line.
Whoever has said that.
Somewhere along the line, I'm
Set me up for
ignoring you. Somewhere along the line, you've had a boss, and as an adult,
Yeah.
how much can your boss manage you? They can manage you more when you're 18 to 21, 22. But as you're 25, 26, 27, some of these guys, married, 3 kids, living a whole life, doing it. A lot of them, especially the ones that come from impoverished backgrounds, running businesses, charities, building hospitals. How much can you manage
I would
what
be-
this
do you know what?
multi-millionaire 30-year-old man is doing?
I would be totally honest, right? If I was 21 and getting the money that they was getting and you know
Yeah.
the lifestyle, I would be uncontrollable.
Yeah.
I was uncontrollable anyway, really. When I was a youngster, like I always wanted to rage against the machine and sod this and sod that. If I was getting that money,
What would
mate,
you be like?
I would be a
Could Pep
we can
manage
imagine.
you?
No.
Could Pep
No,
manage a
no way.
21-year-old Nicky Hawkins?
no
Playing
way.
centre half
No
for
way,
City at
mate,
Main
no.
Road.
I would be out doing all sorts. and
God.
you know,
Do we wanna know?
No, you don't. Probably not. And I would be uncontrollable, and my career would be finished by the time I'm 22.
You're not very positive of yourself, are
No,
you?
no, but I would. I'm just being
real.
honest.
But some
Like,
people,
you know,
some people have that Wolf of Wall Street mindset
Yeah.
of let's live it up, albeit
Yeah.
it's going to be short. And some people go, actually, let's go 60, 70%, but let's have it for a longer period of time.
You've got to have lots of discipline. It's
Yeah.
a very disciplined lifestyle
Yeah.
because you're basically throwing the best. I'm not saying throwing it away. You're definitely not throwing it
throwing it
away,
away, yeah.
but you have to be very disciplined
In your
in
best
your
years.
in your best years,
Yeah.
and then you've got I'm 40. The rubbish years.
Your
to-
peak,
to-
your
to
your
live it
peak
up.
years are your discipline years,
Yeah,
really.
yes, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I would go off the rails. I would have gone off the rails.
That's
mate.
why Bukayo Saka's 150 million.
I guess
Give
so.
him 150 million. He'd be a lot more than Bukayo Saka. In a
But
weird
yeah,
way.
it's difficult for someone like Pep, for someone like Arteta. How much can you manage these guys?
Look, everyone's a human being. You go to work, you don't stay in the same place. After 3-4 years, you start getting bored, looking
Yeah.
for other jobs and other places. to
challenge
work.
yourself.
Yeah. So I think these players, as well as we think Pep is also a winner, the players he has are actually also winners, and they want to challenge themselves elsewhere. I don't think it's Pep getting like not being a manager, or he's done it. He's proven. If he never won no trophies, fair enough. He's won 4 out of the last five seasons.
So it works.
Yeah, it
but
works.
there will be some players, maybe once every year in a squad, that will rebel and will not want to run through a brick wall
course.
for that manager. A la, we're seeing it with Bernardo Silva, we've seen it with Cancelo now.
Or
You
burnout.
can't- Is it impossible to make 100% of the playing staff happy?
Yeah, because
Because
there's only
you will lose 1 or 2 along the way, right? That's just par for the course, is it?
you can only pick.
Yeah,
11.
but
You can
also,
only pick 11.
football is, even if you do everything perfectly as a manager, football is still happening,
Yeah.
right? So if let's say someone gets a red card, someone gets fouled, someone's still going to be pissed off at some point about something. You lose a game and you give away a penalty, and the fans get onto you. There's some things that are out of your control. And that's just the way that it is. Your relationship with a club can get deteriorated for stuff that's completely out of your control.
Yeah, and look, Pep's got good problems, man. He ain't got the same problems as other managers. Look, you lose Bernardo Silva, you still got KDB. You still got Mahrez. You still got
And you still got £1 billion to
£1
go and
billion
replace them.
So it's
Any workplace, you're going to have people that
Exactly.
get annoyed about different things. Some people they're able to put their head down and ignore everything around them. There's another person that gets pissed off that someone's earning £1 more than them an hour, and then there's people pissed off that think that they want to do the best job they can, and they don't think that certain members of the team are putting in the effort. There's so many different variants in every workplace. Now multiply this by millions and millions of pounds. And inflate the ego. You're gonna.
It's not an easy job, is it?
Yeah,
It's not an easy job.
So I was
We
hearing
have to
from
say
some people in Arsenal that some people didn't like this. I thought this was, obviously I'm not a footballer, I don't make that much money, but I thought it was a bit weird. But some people didn't like that Aubameyang used to come to training in his gold Lamborghini, and I thought, he's got a gold Lamborghini, that's what he drives. But obviously I'm broke, so for rich people they have multiple cars. So they've got their daily driver, then they've got their show off car, and guys were normally going to training on a daily in their daily driver, and not in their show-off car.
Me personally, I don't like players like Aubameyang. I don't like all the flashy stuff. That's still not me. But he has every right to drive his gold Lambo to training. He earned it. He's done what?
And the thing is, you can have, when he was at our club and when things were going well, he would constantly stop and talk to fans everywhere, take pictures, petrol station. So would you rather someone that's flashy and maybe people stereotyping from a distance, go, look at this flash, whatever, but he's actually quite humble when you chat to him, or someone that's really low-key, down-to-earth, whatever, but won't take a picture, won't say hello. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit, obviously, if you've got a balance of both, that's the dream. But
he was the prime example of what I was saying, is the fact that he did rebel against the machine, and this is quite well documented. He fell out with the club, over the club, trying to control his every move, and he's like, "I do what I want," And they're telling him, like, I don't want to go too much into it, but they was telling him to stop being friends with certain people because they was doing things that didn't necessarily benefit the club, and he's like, you can't tell me what to do outside my work day, basically.
I understand both sides. If we're paying you this extreme amount of money,
that's the problem.
Part of your job as a footballer, you see. Okay, if we take this away from football, we see this with company CEOs, we see this with newsreaders. There's a morality clause in their contract. A lot of these rich people, right? So if they are doing anything that brings the brand or the company to disrepute, they can get sacked.
Of course.
So your job is not just to play football. Your job is to, and there's another thing you said when you've got a company, some people just do their job, some people go above and beyond. Your job is to do everything you can to make the company or the brand look as good as possible. So if talking to certain people or being friends with certain people is bringing the club into disrepute, then there is a real conversation to be had.
Yeah. No, I do agree.
It's a difficult
with you,
one. There's no right and wrong.
I'm just giving you an example of why it is difficult, because there are people that would just say,
Well, let us know in the comments. Does Pep have the best man management skills, and is he just ruthless with what he needs in his squad? Is he not leaving behind anyone? He wants everyone to follow him.
I think some of the issues they've had are technical issues, though. For me, I thought they've always had really, really good midfielders that control the game really well, and then outside they've had blistering pace. They've obviously, Sane went a few seasons ago. I know Mahrez isn't the quickest, but he's got technical ability. Sterling on the other side had unbelievable pace. Now they've got Foden plays out there, gifted player but not really quick. Grealish plays out there, gifted dribbler but not particularly quick. They've lost that pace. So the speed in transition, their transition play used to be devastating. If you committed players forwards and lost the ball, De Bruyne would turn, send a pass, and they were in behind. Whereas now they don't have that. They do not have that same blistering pace to go out the other end and score. And I think that's a bit of a tactical oversight, to be honest with you. Not that I want to tell Pep how to do his job.
I think these winning teams, after a while, we forget that players age. We forget teams get tired. You know what I'm saying? You see it with Liverpool. Sorry, man. But you see it with Liverpool now, where they can't keep up that sort of gen press in a high intensity anymore.
Well, the second half has started, gents. With 13 seconds in. City need something here. They have to turn this one around. They can't afford really to lose many games if they're up there with Arsenal at the top.
If City lose this game, because City are the favourites to win the league, they're still favourites to win the league. Harry Kane's great tackle. Great tackle. Keeper's very, very shaky with these passes out from the back. If given City are favourites to win the league, our target, I remain, is still top 4. Right, that's where I'm at. If we win the league, that's an overachievement. People are saying after yesterday when we lost, we're bottling it. But if City had this opportunity, because they would have said, right, we've got an opportunity to shorten the gap on Arsenal and blah, 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 blah. At what point do we say City are the ones bottling this, actually?
I don't think you're bottling it. City ain't top.
No, but I'm saying, at what point does that narrative shift to if City can't G themselves up for this game and go and get a goal, not even get a goal? But
then people say, but then City never won. Like, they don't really win at Spurs, so it's
we don't win at Everton. That's the so.
But I think it's just the cadence.
Can put him through it.
Go on. It's too much, man. The final pass.
The final pass is really lacking.
T1 with the super chat says City forgot what brought them to the dance, spending money. Tina says, can Liverpool miss out on top 4 this season, and if will Pep then leave or get sacked, or what will happen? The squad looks a bit old. I think you're confusing the Liverpool and Pep, the Liverpool manager with the City manager. But yeah,
I think they mean Klopp.
I do think they will miss out on top 4.
That's poor.
What does that mean for your club, though?
That's poor.
Kane miss-hit. Good chance on his left foot there.
Big mistake by Lloris. Give the ball away in a key area.
I tell you what, City are being pressed
they're just
here.
getting
They're
pressed,
being
pressed
forced
and
into
pressed.
mistakes.
What does it
wasn't a
mean
foul.
if Liverpool don't get top 4?
Disaster, but obviously
Jude
an
Bellingham still
opportunity to reset. I think we can still get the big names without necessarily having Champions League football for 1 year maximum. You look at the players that Arsenal have managed to bring in over the years without having Champions League football.
It wasn't great, to be fair.
Well, he still brought in the likes of Aubameyang and spending big money on Pepe with no Champions League football. So it's, no, you weren't in the Champions League.
That was the first season out of Champions League.
So there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
You weren't in Champions League, but you managed to bring in an absolute killer, or he was at the time, up front. So I do think there's still hope, and this isn't something that necessarily I think relies on Champions League football. The conversations have been going on for some time with, I think, his dad, whether they're trying to get his dad in as a scout. So the chats are quite deep already, but listen, at the end of the day, it's going to be down to him.
I'm sorry,
isn't it?
are
He's
you
gonna look at the
confessing
table.
that you're illegally touting talent to come to your club? Is that what you're confessing?
No, if you sign the dad as a scout, then it's a loophole, my friend. So, yeah. Remember the Ashley Cole tapping situation?
God. What's more important then, do you think, for the future of this team then? Do you think Klopp is the main...
Yeah, it's got to be Klopp. It just
You'd
we just need the
rather
money.
have Klopp and finish outside top 4 than
I
get with
would.
the manager.
For
but
this
finish
season,
top,
I would.
for this season,
100%.
I still think they've got a few resources, Liverpool, that will come good next season.
Oh yeah.
Jota,
I think
Diaz.
Nunes will come.
Yeah.
I think he will be a great player.
But the attacking wise, there's no stress about that. We know Gakpo, we know Nunes will eventually start scoring the goals and will look good again when Diaz is back, Jota, Firmino, etc. Attacking wise, there's no issue there. I mean, there is when we're not scoring that many goals, but again, you look at the potential of all these guys for years to come. We're in a good place there. It's the midfield and now the defence which has become the big talking point, especially the defence in recent weeks. It was the midfield.
It was the
all
midfield
season.
before,
Now
the
it's the
defences.
defence
But I mean,
without
they
Virgil again.
tend to follow one another, right? If you've got a weak midfield, your defence is going to concede a lot of chances.
Yeah, if they're getting exposed, 100%. So I think if he gets the money, 250 to 300 to spend on a couple midfielders and a couple defenders, then again I wouldn't have any other person in charge of spending that money and then actually working with them, Dan Klopp.
The same way that you have faith in that attack to come back and do really well, do you also have faith, free kick for Man City, by the way, on a really dangerous position here, but do you also have faith in like the defence, or who in that defence do you have faith in? Robertson's been consistent, Trent, Van Dijk, who drops out of that defence for you guys to improve it?
I think Van Dijk has
Don't
to
take
come
him
into
down.
it to
Don't take
improve
him
it,
down.
obviously.
Yeah.
But now it's about finding that partner for him in the next 3 years, I'd say.
Okay.
And also having the next Van Dijk, by the way, which I do think is Konate. But we need another Konate now to come in,
Ooh,
basically.
It's a big shout.
Yeah, Konate.
Well,
Van
I
Dijk.
mean,
Shout.
in terms
Okay.
of who am I most comfortable in a back two, it's Konate and Van Dijk, 100%.
But
So-
that's of the players that you've got now.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need a new Konate now. Because
Okay.
Konate's, in the year or so that he's been there, you can tell
Is
he's
he
got the
injured now?
quality and the ceiling to go all the way. But now we need another Konate. Because Joe Gomez has been at the club since 2015, Matip 2016, Nat Phillips, bless him, needs to go and play games. He's 26, he's only played 40-odd games, I think. So we need a new, and I wasn't necessarily saying this 3 weeks ago, but after the last 3 weeks, the defence has become almost, not as important, but almost as important as the midfield situation.
Yeah.
And the
So
fullbacks
we
you're
need a
happy
new
with.
Konate now. We need to get a new 22-year-old who's going to be that guy in 2 years, basically.
You happy with the fullbacks as well? So for you,
Yeah, I
it's
don't
just
think we can
upgrade to that.
improve.
Upgrade that Van Dijk partner.
Yeah, basically.
Got you.
Or Konate becomes the Van Dijk, if you like, and then we get a new Konate.
I think that Konate doesn't have the character. I think he's good and he's big and strong and he's really good, but I just don't think Van Dijk's such a gem. He's got to see such a leader,
Yeah,
big
but
talker,
he
big
can't play there
character.
forever. So in the
No,
next 2 to 3 years, you're going to have
But that's
to
what
start
I'm just saying.
looking
That's why
beyond Van Dijk.
Konate
How old
isn't
is
the
Van Dijk
next
now?
Van Dijk.
How old is Van Dijk? 32.
29, I think.
29.
30 maybe tops.
Okay.
So again, he's got 3 or 4 years there, but I would actually disagree with you. From seeing a lot of Konate play,
Yeah.
and where I sit at Anfield, I hear what goes on, and Konate is extremely vocal, and he tries to build up a relationship with Robertson. That's his defensive partner really on that side.
Got you.
And
you
again,
understand
what
the
I've seen
accent?
for France as well at the World Cup.
Yeah.
So, like you said, just like a wall. No one gets through him. But again, the longer that he stays at the club, you naturally do become more of a leader, you know, when you have more responsibility. So we just need a new Konate, basically. Maybe get rid of 1 or 2 defenders, get rid of 3 or 4 midfielders, and maybe get 2 or 3 midfielders in. I think that's a good starting place for us to reset from next season. But anyway, this is Tottenham versus Man City.
Out.
And Julian Alvarez lets the ball fly off there.
Man City just
Van
look so
Dijk's 31.
frustrated.
Sorry, 31.
31, yeah.
Yeah.
Man City just look so frustrated. They're getting into the final third, but they're not able to. Obviously, they've got their main target man, which is Haaland. He's not able to get himself into the game. They're not able to find him.
Look at that though, Nick. That doesn't read well. Average positions
It's
for Man
essential
City. The
midfield.
highest furthest forward player is Haaland.
Like I said, we used to
Mahrez.
associate.
Sorry, Mahrez. And Haaland barely more forward than Rico Lewis.
Because we used to associate this team with having really wide touchline hugging, rapid wingers, which they just don't have.
That is awful from Haaland.
It's not been the same since he stepped up against Big Rob Holding, has he? He's not quite.
Yeah, that's what's done it, for sure.
Still Rob Holding's hair transplant. And
They still won that game, though.
Yeah, they won it, yeah.
So,
Let him win the battle to win the war, didn't we, lads? That's
Yeah,
what it
sure.
is.
Grealish with the ball and it flies over everyone.
Great.
And City, there's a few arms flailing in the air now. There's a few more frustrated moans and groans.
Yeah, they need to bring De Bruyne on.
Yeah,
I
De
can't believe
Bruyne
he
on,
didn't come on
yeah.
at half time, to be honest.
They got De Bruyne and Gundogan,
Yeah.
two of the best centre mids.
He mostly would take a striker off.
Nah, I think he'll keep
He'll
on.
keep on and then take off who?
Talking to Jack here, saying Jack. I mean, I'm trying to lip read that. It's a lot of. But you get the gist.
He's fishing.
But City, nice touch from Haaland here. Very
great
good, isn't he, Alvarez? Very good player.
See, that just makes so much more sense in their system. Then I know Haaland's got an outrageous amount of goals, but
I think it restricts them.
Yeah, I
think
agree.
He's a phenomenal, but he's a player that restricts what you can do.
Goes
As a
down in the
team.
box there, Haaland, trying to
He
get
always
something.
goes down.
It's the complete opposite what they've been doing for the last
Exactly.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah. I don't know if he's trying to like evolve it and take what they've done to the next level, but maybe you stick with what you know.
And Tottenham still holding on really here.
Yeah,
They're not looking
we're
too
not playing too
exposed
well,
at all, really.
I think they look comfortable
Yeah.
at the moment.
Lloris even having a good game.
Yeah, but we're not really penetrating, are we? Like,
They haven't tested him, to be fair.
Well, to be fair, it's just been that one chance.
Yeah,
really,
one
hasn't it,
chance.
so
Yeah, we're
far?
not really.
Tottenham have a record, as we know, of 5 wins, drawing 1, losing 1 in the last. When leading at half time in the Premier League this season. Whereas
Tackle.
City have a
Goal,
record
goal,
of
goal
1-2,
forwards.
drawn 1, lost 0 when trailing at half time in the
Ball,
English Premier
ball.
League this season.
Ball.
But Emerson going, look
Look at him! Look at him!
He knows Pedro Porro's on the bench.
Kulusevski,
good
Rico Lewis
defending.
does well.
Rico Lewis has had Kulusevski.
What is Haaland smoking, says Loteyoshi.
He's just not getting enough of the ball. There's not enough space. Tottenham are a very defensive team. They play 5 at the back with the DMs. There's 6 players around him. He's not, that's not.
Is that a shot?
No, it's not a shot. I'm just saying. I'm just being serious. Like as a target man, he's not. He's not gonna get a lot of the ball. Unless you're gonna whip crosses into him, and all their crosses at the moment are going deep. So they're going straight over their head to the back post. You're just not getting any service. He can't. He's a final action player. Really, he just wants to get goals. He's not really a build-up player.
Cross comes in and it's headed just over from Ben Davis.
Ben Davis.
At what time? We're at 56 minutes now. What time do we see changes?
I
Not
think
only
60.
from
60 KDB
60?
comes on. Yeah,
4
I don't
minutes
think we'll
until he
react.
comes on.
Unless the only change I see, maybe he might bring Porro on to give a bit
Yeah,
more.
I don't think you guys make any changes unless City make changes.
Yeah, I think Porro can get a Rico. What's his name?
Rico Lewis.
Yeah.
But I don't think you guys are aggressive enough. I think you guys will rather look at it as 1-0 and go, we'll rest him. We'll use him another day.
That's just
Because
that's
you're not
dangerous.
You're not going to gamble a loss.
Oh,
to
here
get
he
a
is.
second
There we
goal.
go. There we go.
maybe a couple minutes earlier than expected. But Kevin De Bruyne is about to come on for Man City. Can he change the game? Can he get control of this midfield, which Rico Lewis has been trying to do, playing as that inverted left back? But City have to do something here. Who do they take off, would you say, for De Bruyne?
It won't be,
Lewis
but
is having a good
I think
game.
it should be Haaland and put Julian Alvarez up top.
It won't be.
It won't,
Yeah,
but it
no
won't
way.
It
be
might be the
that.
opposite.
Maybe I'm playing FIFA too much, but
And it's just not working. It's just not working for City. Whatever they try at the minute,
You
Haaland
might
getting
take Grealish
frustrated
off,
here as
Jack.
well.
You might take Jack off,
and then put who wide? Bernardo out wide.
maybe. And put KDB.
Because KDB needs to be in the middle, so it's got.
Yeah,
Is
next
that
to
from
Rodri.
Romero? It's poor.
I mean, the thing is that
Go on, Kane. Bat it.
It's not a foul, ref.
Not a
when
foul.
he Haaland thrives on space,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and De Bruyne can find space in Gemma Collins' socks. So.
Oh, poor Kulusevski. That's poor.
That is a good one. That is a good one.
Don't take him out. Don't get booked.
This is
Both
what
of them-
Silva's
both
good
of
at,
them
isn't
are
it?
booked.
And he loses that. It's a Tottenham throw.
He's coming off. Silva.
Is it Silva, do you reckon?
Who's that? Number 20.
Mahrez.
Mahrez, yes.
Mahrez off. De Bruyne.
He hasn't had a great game, Mahrez.
He had that shot, hit the bar.
Yeah, hit the ball.
Yeah, I mean he's still, but he's someone that you've got to think if someone's going to have a moment, he's
He's the one,
moment
yeah.
players,
Yeah.
but
Doesn't look happy to be coming off, does he? 58 minutes.
He don't deserve. Well, he saved him last game.
Pep gives him a slap on the backside, but he doesn't look happy, as you wouldn't be coming off this early in a game like this. But
especially when you were one of the guys that was part of the comeback,
The comeback
last
last
time,
time, yeah.
so you'd think you know what to do, but I think we sussed what Spurs have to do. We just have to leave Conte at home, and then they can win games.
The game ain't over, man. Got half an hour left.
that's a foul, surely.
Foul.
Is that not a yellow as well for Ake? No. My lord, they took Mahrez off, says Dave 109. Can't believe it.
Oh,
He
Van
wasn't
Perisic
quite
gets
sure
it.
whether to
Can you
jump
beat him?
or not.
Crosses it
the
for
cross.
Kulusevski. Oh, bad clearance from
Ooh.
Grealish, straight up in the air.
It's an up and out. He's been watching the Six Nations.
Haaland's so deep here. Look how deep he's having
Course.
to come
He's no
to
good
get
in them
involved.
positions.
Of course not. Oh,
oh come on.
Silly foul.
This is such a stupid. I think Eric Dyer is so bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Was
Terrible
Eric
player.
Dyer?
He's a terrible football player.
I'm not even. I'll keep my words to myself.
Express yourself, man.
No, man.
He has good moments, but as a technical football player, he's brain dead sometimes.
here is
Yeah,
De
long time
Bruyne.
now, isn't he? Oh,
Loses
God.
the ball, gets a free kick there. I
Free
didn't think that
kick?
was a free kick.
Ridiculous.
Free kick. This ref is having a bad game, you know.
I didn't think that was a foul.
That was not a foul.
I think it might have been a foul.
He
I think he's made the
tripped over
mistake. He
ball,
did trip over the ball, but I think the guy's
and
caught
the
him.
momentum's just gone. Look, it's
Let's
just
have
the
a look.
momentum.
I think that guy's thrown into a challenge. There's no ball in that challenge.
Look,
Yeah, he's missed the ball.
He missed
completely.
the
That's a
ball.
foul. That's a foul.
he's
It's
missed
a
the ball.
soft. Yeah, but if that's still a foul, your player's committed for the ball, missed the ball completely, and taken his leg out. That's a foul. It's a soft foul, no card or anything, but that is a foul.
It's not a great ball
That's-
in either, is it?
This is terrible for Manchester City.
Worst City performance this season.
I think so. Yeah,
Haaland's
worst I've
not
seen
happy.
anyway. I don't watch them every week.
No.
I can't say that. But you know, you'd have thought Arsenal getting beat yesterday, they would have smelt with a bit of blood.
That's what I'm
But
saying. Yeah.
It's gone the opposite way. It looks like.
Come on, ref.
Emerson,
lot of fouls
Emerson's back.
for-
Fouls,
Yeah,
yeah.
the original Emerson's back.
A lot of fouls.
Lot of
here.
fouls,
a lot
man.
of time. I'd be interested to know the actual time that the ball's been in play for this game. It's been like this pretty much
They're
the whole
trying
time.
to find solutions to that, aren't they?
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
we have the least, the ball in play the least in the top
But
European
our
league.
game,
Seriously?
our game against Newcastle was the lowest so far this season. It was in
Why are
play.
you both? Oh,
Half the game.
In play for 48 minutes. Yeah,
half the game.
shocking.
Literally half the game.
tackle.
City,
we go.
can
Look
they
at that
break?
space
Here's De
now.
Bruyne
Look
to
at that
Haaland
Oh, it's poor though.
and Eric Dyer.
Well,
Back to Dyer. Back
Gets
to
that one
Dyer.
out, no problem.
It wasn't the best ball, but
Son running into Kane's space. I don't understand why.
great little touch there from Perisic. Who was that? Who was that?
Oh, well played. Tottenham.
Oh,
this
played.
is good football.
challenge.
Play-
And this is very good football. And
fix him.
Hjoberg.
Fix him.
Can he look
God.
up and
Where's
find
he?
this
Oh,
man?
no, it's Hjoberg.
Emerson.
I said it straight away. It's Hjoberg. As soon as I saw it was Hjoberg, I was like, nah,
The wrong players in the wrong.
this is going absolutely nowhere. It's going nowhere.
Kevin De Bencho is done. He will join Al Nasser with Hazard, says Lewis Garcia.
What a ball.
Tottenham have committed
Should've went the other
11
way.
fouls in this match.
I would've shot.
Higher than their season average of 10.5 in the
He doesn't
EPL.
even look up. Hjoberg.
Enforcing the point that we just made about how this game has been fairly scrappy. A lot of fouls, a lot of time wasted with the ball
They
not being in
average
play.
10.5 fouls a game.
Emerson having a good
and
old
Grealish
chat
have
here
had-
with
They've been at
Grealish.
each other
Yeah,
all
him and
afternoon.
Grealish.
What's the referee having a look at here?
What's going on?
Have a look at something.
Referee,
The ref
how
just
do
told
you sum
Rodri,
up his
I
performance?
thought you were world class, he said to Rodri.
That's
That's a
yellow,
great
isn't
challenge.
it?
That's a great challenge. Yeah, the ref lost control, I think, early on. He's trying to regain a bit of it now, but yeah.
Oh,
that's a yellow card.
that'll be a yellow card finally for Emerson.
Edge of the
Royale.
box.
Finally.
No
Surely
card.
that's a
He's
yellow.
gonna get subbed.
There's no card.
Surely
He's
that's
he's
no
giving-
card.
he's giving him a-
No card for that.
Oh my word.
But he's giving yellows for other. That's
That's
crazy.
a big yellow.
On the edge of the box. Look, that's crazy. I
think
can't
he-
stand Jack Grealish, but it's definitely yellow.
How has he got away with that?
Emerson,
If you're Pedro Porro, are you looking
You're
at this
looking at
going,
this
get me
thinking,
on?
yeah, get me on. Let me push them back.
Wow. Anyway, good chance for De Bruyne, maybe,
Jesus
what,
Christ. He's gonna
19
put a
yards out,
disgusting
almost
ball
a
in.
corner.
He's gonna
not
try to
injured
go
or
for
anything,
goal.
is he? No, he won't go for goal.
He's gonna try to go for goal. Watch. He's gonna
Nah,
try to
he
sneak
won't- he
everyone
won't
out.
go for goal.
This is what he's gonna do.
If he does, he'll probably go in. It's Lloris.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bruyne finds a good pass.
Oh, off the line.
Brilliant.
It's well played from
Improvisation
Alvarez.
there from De Bruyne, who...
Defending.
This is
How have
why.
they not
This is
seen
why
that?
Haaland needs to be off, and they just
Oh
need to
my
use
word.
Alvarez.
How Tottenham have not seen
It was
that.
going wide
And it
anyway.
comes
to be
off
fair.
Eric Dyer.
It was going wide.
Was it?
Yeah, look where Dyer is. It was going wide.
Yeah.
But Dyer blocks it. But I have to say, how Spurs didn't find that one out.
Most of the good things Eric Dyer does are just the ball hitting him when he doesn't know much about it. Most of it's an accident.
Robbie is so rich, he's invented Ice Cube to watch along, says Sci-Fact G.
Ice Cube.
Could be talking about you, to be fair.
No,
but
they're
they
you,
they
man.
told me I look like Ice Cube. They told me I look like different people every time I come on. But I get Ice Cube a lot. I don't
I think
think anything
someone
like
called you
it.
Jam Master J in the comments.
Jam Master J, yeah.
What a legend.
I'll take that.
Yeah, whoever said that is a legend.
Back
Cross
in the
comes
day
in.
when we used to work for
Oh.
Chance,
Akanji.
Akanji.
Akanji of all
Can he
people.
find the
Kevin De
pass?
Bruyne's
De
there.
Bruyne.
Oh,
It's wide.
Oh,
They're asking for
Defending
penalty
Spurs.
there, but
That's
they're
all
not
I
going
asked
to
for.
back in the day when we used to work for a different sports company, me and Robbie, they used to call us the Dudley Boys.
Dudley boys. Get the tables.
What, you and him together?
Yeah, we used to do years ago. We used to have the Dudley Boys are back.
There was no deflection there, was there?
What a block. Who's that?
Oh,
Romero.
His hands.
is a handball from Romero, but they play on and he
No
gives it
VAR.
away
Gives it
to
away.
Rodri.
Pain,
And then
he
wins
gets
it off
back.
Grealish. He's on a yellow as well, Romero,
that
but he's
could have been a
continued
red.
his
Look at
run.
him.
He's continued
Look
his run
wide,
here.
go
Go wide, go
Go
wide,
wide,
go
going.
wide.
That's the right time to do it. The ball comes in. Kane! Oh!
I think Son left that a bit
Too
late.
much pace in the ball.
I think Son left that a little bit late.
Harry
Too
Kane
much pace.
just
I
couldn't
don't know
get
what
to
I'm
it.
just cheering on Tottenham for.
Just the drama.
Just like, yeah,
The drama.
just
Nick.
football.
We love it. Son held on to it for a long time. Ball comes across from Perisic and Kane could
much
not
pace
get
on the
there.
ball, man.
Almost a Phil Babb situation there, Nicky.
Yeah, nearly.
Where the nuts go right into the post, but oof. I mean, it almost was.
Not Casemiro, Casaraghi.
Well played Spurs.
Maybe
Keep
he's
it
good
up.
like
Did he? Keep it up, Spurs, man.
Going into the post.
With his legs
Never
open.
played again.
Ooh, bless him. That must have been a painful one, to say the least. City getting split open like a Yorkshire ham at Sunday brunch, says Klotoyeshi. How rich is Robbie? He could take over Arsenal, says Simon. Who
25
knows?
minutes
Maybe
left.
one day, you never know in this life. This is where Spurs are dangerous on the counter-attack, says Lewis Brown. And with 24 minutes plus added time to go, it's not looking great for City. They haven't really been able to find a way to really and truly test
But
Lloris so far. They haven't connected the midfield to Haaland so far.
The thing with this Haaland thing, it was the same for his last season at Dortmund because he was injured for a bit and he was scoring loads of goals when he was not injured. But when he got injured, they actually started winning more points. They had an higher average points per game.
Oh, what a
He's
ball.
offside.
Oh,
He's
he's offside.
offside.
Oh,
That would have been a
that's
tidy
a great
finish.
goal.
Do it in a game, mate.
Great finish, mate.
You've got to go for
Put it
something
in,
like
mate.
Hjoberg, you
Because
know.
if the VAR comes
Yeah,
up and he's
he's
onside,
That's it.
He better be offside now, otherwise the Spurs
He's off.
The Spurs fans
Tell you
are
what,
getting
though.
mental.
No, dude, if it
Because
was,
it was quite an early flag, but I guess they knew. But yeah, it's been a problem before for Haaland, where he does get goals, but the team's worse off with him getting all his goals.
Alvarez! Oh, it's
What a
just wide.
strike.
Great
strike.
little 1-2 from Alvarez and
This
De Bruyne. And he goes across goal, and I tell you,
They've
that
just
was
got
not
to use Alvarez,
far
man.
away.
They've just got to use Alvarez as the 9. They have to.
that was very close. Great strike.
Instinctive strike. Doesn't even look at the goal. Head down, strikes across.
If they play with one striker,
Oh,
just
I tell you
Alvarez,
what.
drop Haaland and put
That was
KDB
close.
in.
And Lloris is
10
getting
inches,
beaten.
that.
He's getting beaten, by them shots. He's getting beat. Oh,
And here is Dejan Kulusevski up against Rico Lewis. Kulusevski, can he cut inside? Finds Emerson Royale.
unlucky,
Rico
unlucky.
Lewis.
Unlucky, yeah, that was
Having a good
football.
game, is the youngster. Ice Cube and Dr. Dre on the watch along today, says Red.
Does that mean you?
I was going to say, can we get some lookalikes for you two as well?
I normally get Ricky Gervais.
Ricky
Gervais.
Gervais.
Yeah.
I usually get Boy George.
That is some kick, by the way, from Edison. Boy George, yeah.
Honestly,
Can
he
see
was
it.
on his community service.
Not the best era of Boy George
Not
to be
best, no.
compared to, but there you go.
Go on, Spurs.
Hang on, here.
Come on.
Look,
Look
Come
at
on,
this.
Spurs.
Man
There's
City
no
not
urgency.
even running.
No urgency.
Kane will go for goal.
That's
That's
terrible.
the wrong
That's
decision.
terrible.
he needed to
But then
cut
they
that.
all come. They all cluster towards the ball.
But nobody ran forward.
yeah, no, but no one.
They were trying to hold
split
it.
it. Yeah,
It was like a
they all come
that
together.
training session where you have to hold your mates. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
that was
Look, Son runs
Very
towards it. They
strange.
all run towards it.
It's a poor decision to shoot there.
It's almost like you guys attack so little in games that when you finally do, you don't know how to do it.
There's a
Come
question
on.
for you in the chat here, AG. Has Klopp ever rebuilt a squad in his career?
Yeah, the first
Didn't
time he came, he had to rebuild that squad that was left over.
Oh, he's through!
Oh my god!
Corner for Tottenham. 20 minutes to go. Or
Well
is it?
played,
It's a goal
Spurs. I'll
kick.
take that.
It's a
Well
goal
played,
kick.
Spurs. Well
Goal
played.
kick.
Goal kick.
He sort of shuffled his way through.
Oh,
That is so easy for Son, though, isn't it? Getting past Rodri like he's not even there, man.
I mean,
Look at that.
Walker just
Yeah,
not.
that's
Oh yeah, it
That's
is a
a
goal.
good save.
It is a
Walker
goal
just
kick.
not tracking his man at all, and then
Oh, it's a good effort, but that's a good
he
save.
said he'd build a squad, not rebuild.
Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah.
he means rebuilding his own squad,
Yeah.
rather than rebuilding the squad
Yeah.
when he
Well,
did
gets
he
to the
not
club.
rebuild Liverpool though?
Huh?
Did he not rebuild
That's right,
Liverpool?
exactly.
But
did not
the
rebuild?
question is saying like,
Can he rebuild
he's rebuilt from himself?
Okay, from himself.
So the first squad that he had, did he not rebuild that squad into becoming world champion and English champions of everything?
Look, I'm just reading the chat.
No, I'm
mate,
just,
please.
I'm not having a go at you. I'm not having a go at you. But surely the squad that he inherited, he rebuilt that squad into one that won everything.
I think he means like,
So-
has he had experience of ditching players that he's had, you know,
that
confidence in and
rebuilding,
yeah,
like,
rebuilt like,
yeah,
from
rebuilding
his
his own
home.
team.
that's
from
what
his
we
own-
need. That's what we desperately need right now. And has he done it to this point? Probably not. But again, if there's one person that can do it with the right financial backing, it is him. Just imagine what he would have been able to achieve with tons of money across the years that have been. Yeah. Anyway, again, 20 minutes to go. City cross it, and there's still no outcome for them.
Go on,
Kulusevski,
Kulu.
very good game he's having today.
I like
And
him.
that would be a yellow
He's gonna
card.
get yellow.
That would be a yellow
Yeah.
card, or will it
I
not
don't know.
be?
I don't think.
And then
it
he's
will.
kicked it
I
away.
Yeah,
don't,
no,
I
it's
don't
gonna
think
get
it
booked.
will.
Do you know what?
This ref has
The
been
last one from
shocking.
Hjoberg was a heinous challenge. It was disgusting, and the ref didn't give a yellow. So I don't think he'll give that Kulusevski one yet. The one before this from
Grealish
Hjoberg
has
was
spent half
worse.
the time on the floor. He's hardly touched him, to be honest.
To be honest as well, that's another thing that they've really,
Grealish on the floor again. Well defended from Dyer.
they've really sort of loosened the reins on, and that's kicking the ball away. I
Yeah.
remember in the early 2000s, you only had to nudge it there, and they would dish out you a card. And they everyone's kicking the ball. You notice that?
I feel like the
Everybody's
refs were a lot harder.
They were.
back then. They were much
yeah.
tougher.
Let's have a look here then. Because Romero's on the floor. I think he got a knee to the
Oh, he got a knee to
the fleshy part
to
of
the
the old thigh, which does
while
hurt
trying
a
to
lot
foul
if
Jack
someone
Grealish,
hits
though,
dead
in
leg.
fairness.
Yeah. Well,
That's one of the nastiest
Hey?
things.
of his own medicine.
Yeah, 100%.
It's one of the quickest ones to recover from, but in terms of like being a football player, that's one of the worst things
Yeah.
you can have.
Yeah.
because You cannot do nothing.
You can run it off, but it's going to hurt.
Oh no, I had one.
Well, he's
before.
going to continue playing. So
Yeah, I know, but it's not. It can't
not
be a proper
comfortable. Yeah.
dead leg. Then you get a proper dead leg, mate. You can't do nothing for 4 or 5 days.
Well, he's
Big
still
bruise.
holding it. He might have to go off. He's on a yellow as well.
And it
Smash
gets
the
wor-
like
it gets
button as
worse
well, by the way,
You get
guys.
up and you think you can carry on, and it gets worse as you go.
Well, he's not got time to think about that, unfortunately for him. He's got Haaland to deal with and Alvarez. 18 minutes to go. Can City find a way back into this game, or will Tottenham hold out? Remember to
City,
smash
man.
that like button. Over 1,000 of you watching right
Don't
now.
tackle him. Why are you going to push him like that?
There's no movement from Haaland or Alvarez
No.
to make an angle for Jack Grealish. They're making it really difficult for him. They're not giving him any.
He's too static.
Yeah, very.
Too
You can just
static.
see him standing there. Like he's almost. I think Haaland. I would go as far as to say he's hiding a little bit in this game at this moment in time.
Question
18
from
minutes.
Denzel Robert, who says, "How the heck is Pedro Porro not playing?
I don't know, man. I think he should
Is
be
this
on.
a-
But look,
A
we're-
game to bring him into, though."
Yes, it's his old club. I think got almonds. He's got things to prove, you know, and he wants to prove to the Tottenham fans we're at home. He'll get the support, get the backing, and I think
This is part of the problem of your team, though, and the philosophy of this manager is that they'd rather protect what they've got than gamble and go big. Whether what they've got is a 1-0 lead or 0-0, that they'll just protect a little bit. Maybe even nick goals against the run of play and not really go for things. And you can get to top 4 with that, but you're probably going to struggle to go beyond that.
Beyond that, yeah. If we have that, but I think he does that because of the quality of player. I think our defence ain't. Well, the fullbacks before Porro came were poor.
He plays like that anyway, though. He played like that in Italy. He played like that a little bit
Yeah,
with
but
Chelsea.
then look at the fullbacks at Inter, Perisic and Hakimi.
Yeah. But you got Perisic now. What
Yeah,
are
we
you
got
on about?
Perisic now, but then look on the other side, Doherty, Royal.
So once Pedro Porro gets up to speed, you've got no excuses then.
Not really.
Going by what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think we do. And then we got Destiny coming next season as well. Udogi from Udinese.
But you got yeah.
Udinese, Destiny Udogi.
Good ball.
Left wing fullback.
Ball.
No foul.
Interesting
Don't
name.
foul him.
Son holds it up well against Walker.
Kyle Walker's had a bit of a drop off as well that no one seems to be kind of talking
That's
about.
why he's on the bench.
He
all
was
the
one
time.
of the other
34,
players that was mentioned to not be content with Pep.
He can't be 34. Can we
Here's
get an age on it?
Kane.
I bet he's close.
I thought it's like maybe
He has been
31.
around for a good 15, 16 years.
I thought it's like 31. 34 seems really
I
old.
remember when he used to play for Sheffield United back in the day, like 07.
Rated like 67 on FIFA.
Yeah, that's a foul, and that is a
32.
yellow card for
32?
Perisic.
Coming up 33. Yeah.
Okay.
32, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle Walker's only 32.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Been around for ages.
He's one of them players, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like Saka.
Is that?
Not Saka, Sterling.
Yeah, Sterling.
You
How old
think-
is Sterling?
Back to 22.
De
Do
Bruyne
you know,
with
do
the
you know
ball
one
in.
that always like
Great
comes back
knockdown.
across.
Great
Back
knockdown.
in
I
the
think
day.
Ake's done quite well.
Get
for
out.
them, you know.
Darren
Yeah.
Anderton. He never seemed to age.
Hey,
Darren.
yeah.
Same
Never used to
trim
play,
for about
but
20
never-
years
Huh?
as well. Same trim for 20
Yeah.
years.
I used to think
It's
the
like
same about
Rashford as well,
I used to
isn't
think
it?
the same about Charlie Austin.
Charlie
I'm sure he spent 10 years bouncing up and down
QPR.
between the Championship
What's
and
going
the
on
Prem.
here? There's a little bit of argy-bargy.
Zoom in.
No, it's not handball.
I think Ake's done really well today.
We've got 15 minutes to go there, debating
Watching
whether
something,
we're
mate.
going to see a penalty, is it, or is it Rodri and Hjoberg going face to face? But no shots on target in the second half for Manchester City.
It's the most
And
aggressive
the
handshake
XG
you've ever seen.
is 0.69 right now for City and 1.38 for Tottenham. That could all change, of course.
We got to hold out these
Grealish with the
next
corner.
15 minutes.
Like, even if you've got Haaland and he's a big, he's meant to be a big target man. Surely you want to be hitting him from the corner. They've played it to the edge of the box for Kyle Walker to try and hit
Every
a
time,
30-yard
by the way.
shot.
Oh,
he
Son.
completely missed it.
Oh!
Similar to the Liverpool goal
Look,
we
look,
scored
look,
against City.
Son
Got to
just
find the right
doesn't
pass
look
here.
up. Son doesn't
Goes
look
for
up.
goal and it's...
Son does not. Oh my God! How
I'll tell
terrible!
you
Oh, my
was
God,
that?
give it!
Tottenham could look to kill this game off here. Hjoberg chests it down, goes for goal, and it's just wide. But Tottenham now on the attack. and on the up.
Kyle
Come on,
Walker,
boys.
Kyle Walker's not in this game.
Come
He's
on,
not in this
boys.
game at all. Look at this defending from Kyle Walker.
But Son
And
holds
why is
onto it for
Kevin De
so
Bruyne the furthest
long.
player back? It doesn't make any sense.
All over the
no
place,
attempt
City,
to block
really.
the shot, and then once it goes out for the second ball, no attempt again. There's nothing. Carl Walker's head's not in it. You don't fancy it at all.
Do you think this is the best
Martinelli
Tottenham have
hat-trick
played
incoming.
against a top team this season? Is there an argument to say that?
Well, we smashed them both times, so yeah. I mean, it's
We played good against you lot, and then Eric Dyer gave headed the ball to
Said
Salah.
top 10.
Coming from you.
this is what he does.
I'm a little stirrer, mate.
I don't
I'm
mind
sitting
it.
there
I don't mind
stirring.
it. I don't
I'm
mind
looking at.
But then if you say anything back, he goes, but we're.
Robbie's.
You know what I mean?
I definitely prefer your little shots to Robbie's.
But this is what he
Big
does.
shots.
If you say anything back, he's like, no, we're just a small club. We ain't got the
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
you know.
That's it.
Walker with the cross headed out by Hjoberg. Maybe my man of the match
Come
today,
on,
by the way,
Spurs.
Hjoberg. He's been brilliant. Got the assist for the goal as well, don't forget. And is really pushing up the rest of his players to press City and make them make more mistakes. This is another question I wanted to ask you guys. There's been a lot made of Liverpool's mental fall off from being so close to the quadruple this year, maybe burning out. Are we seeing something similar with City? Because yes, they've been so successful domestically the last 5
Great
years.
touch
Good
by
touch,
Kevin De
yeah,
Bruyne.
yeah.
Just
Tackle.
Brilliant tackle
Just
from
when we're
him to
talking about
rally
burnout,
again.
I mean, he pulls that out.
Goal kick.
Goal
Surely
kick,
that's a
tackle.
corner.
Oh, Andy Madley's
But-
trying to get man of the match
But
now. I mean,
is there an argument to say though that maybe City have burnt out?
I think potentially there's definitely
Yeah.
that argument, but I think that there is, and I love Pep Guardiola.
How is
but
that not a corner, by the way?
It's
That's
Don't worry, we'll
Shocking,
take it. We'll take
shocking
it. We'll
referee.
take it. We'll
But
take
awful
it.
game.
I think there is some fault here from Pep Guardiola because ultimately a lot of the newer signings that he's brought in have not performed for the last couple of seasons. Even go back to when he brought in Ferran Torres and it just didn't
He's bringing a
didn't quite
Ryan
work.
Sessegnon. Flipping
So
hell.
he's had the opportunity to bring in players and start replenishing this squad with fresh legs, and it just hasn't worked out. So I think there's a difficulty with talent ID. I think they got the characters right for a couple of years, and they really hit the heights, and then they've really struggled to recreate that same spark. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely shouts for some physical and mental burnout as well from performing at a high level for a long time.
So it's not just Liverpool that can happen to. Good to know. Football needs a challenge system like
Short
tennis.
period of time as well, isn't it? You know, it took
Yeah,
you guys 7 years.
exactly.
Took City, you know, basically Klopp's the best manager in the world. Is what
If
we're
you
getting
look at it like that. Why not? London Nomad Super Chat, he says football needs a challenge system like tennis.
I said that for
The
ages.
captain can go over to the ref to ask it to be checked. Ganging up on refs won't help.
I've said
Well, if
that
the
for
refs are on
ages.
job, they should be checking without having to be ganged up on.
Yeah, I mean the VAR at the moment. Am I right in saying that they only check penalties and red cards?
Yeah.
No one knows. Nobody
Yeah.
knows.
But like if it's
Yeah,
only
we don't-
penalties,
No,
and,
they disallowed the Newcastle goal yesterday because it went out of play.
so if
I've
it's
never
only
seen that
if
before.
it's if it's penalties, red cards, and goals, they are fairly infrequent things to happen. So VAR shouldn't be massively busy. They're not checking throw-ons. They're not checking every foul.
No.
They're only checking a few.
The
things.
crucial
So
game
it
decisions,
shouldn't
yeah.
really be that difficult because they don't have a huge amount to do.
But still, when it's with that, yeah, I know it's a computerized, but then again, I'll also say it's opinionated as well, man, with VAR, man. And this is clearly over the line or clearly offside, like
Yeah.
even
Keep
them
it out and
lines.
have
Yeah.
a challenge system. And if you win your challenge, you get it back. If
Back.
you lose it and you're just using it for the sake of it, you lose it and that's it. I've had enough of VAR, to be honest with you. It's not what the game's about. It's not about stopping and starting and all this nonsense all the time. They
Well, it is now.
clearly can't. Oh, well done. They clearly can't.
Ryan
find an efficient
Sessegnon coming
system
on.
Why
to
would
get
you
it-
do that,
To
son?
get it right, then change it.
Ryan Sessegnon's
Ah,
on, but still
boo.
no sign of Pedro Porro.
And here is his
Ryan Sessegnon replaced Perisic.
rival here. It's Emerson Royale with the no-look pass inside to Kulusevski.
Another good tackle from
And
Rico.
then another good
Played-
tackle
I'll
from
tell you
him.
what, he's had a solid.
He's a solid
He's
game.
played
He's played
very well.
brilliant.
Him
He's
and
played pretty.
Hjoberg.
Yeah.
I'd say two best players for Spurs today. De Bruyne, 10 minutes to go for him to pull something out. They need to pull a rabbit
Come
out
on,
of the hat
Spurs.
here. They really do. And no Conte. And Spurs looking deep.
It's the same system, man.
Okay.
Scalini-
Just so we know.
Yeah, it's the
Right.
same
From a
system.
Tottenham fan,
We're just
yeah,
doing it
just
for
stand
Conte.
up
We're
for
doing it for Conte. We want Conte to get well. He's had a rough season.
Yeah.
He's lost 3 of his closest friends in football.
Yeah.
He just had the surgery, and his family's obviously in Italy, so he's had it tough, man. So I think we're doing it for him. Hope we do anyway.
Still wants to leave though.
Who, Conte?
Yeah.
I think he stays.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
You
he's
say.
No,
So he said he walks earlier.
I think he walks if he's not being backed. But I think with Conte, like I said, he's confusing. I think we'll back him and give him the money to build in the summer. We just have to back him basically.
Yeah.
But I think he stays. Other than that,
Oh,
De Bruyne just can't seem to get. And
well
what's
won.
going on here?
oh,
Three on the ground.
Give it
Release
to
him.
Seston,
Release him.
release
There we
him.
go. That's better.
There we
Not
go.
even running.
Take on your
these
man,
City
Sess.
players.
Take on your man.
Look at Rodri.
Take
He's
on
not
your
even
man.
running.
Take on your man.
He's got nothing around him, to be fair.
Emerson on the
Go
edge of the
inside.
box.
Inside. There
Oh,
you
it's
go.
brilliant.
Take
Great
on your
ball.
man. Unlucky.
What's happening?
Really
here?
good play from Sessegnon.
What are they doing?
They want to
Corner.
foul. They want to foul. They want to foul.
And
Oh,
Edison's
it's a
getting
yellow card for Edison.
Edison, yeah, book
How
him.
does he get a yellow card for that and all
Yeah,
those
book him.
fouls? You know what? Never mind. Let's have a look at this. What they're screaming for?
They wanted a foul on
That's
Lewis.
handball.
That's what they wanted.
Nah, can't be handball. But
he fell on it.
Penalty.
His hands.
In the box.
It wasn't a foul. It was handball.
Well, Tottenham have another chance here to kill the game off.
Come
Can
on,
they make it
Spurs.
2-0?
if they do make it 2-0, I have a sneaky suspicion 83 minutes into the game that it won't end 4-2 like it did last time. That's my football wisdom.
Son with the corner. Can he put a good ball in? He can. Punched away by Edison. Straight back out to Son.
Hjoberg's on the edge of the box. You're going to use him?
It's well defended from
That's
Alvarez.
just
But
run
Dyer
at the boss
now.
on.
Well done.
Oh, lucky.
Haaland.
Oh, well done. Press.
Haaland playing as a centre back.
Handball.
What's this?
Give an handball for
Handball from Son.
Oh, good.
And there will be a change now. Who will it be? Bissouma coming on for Son.
Yeah, makes sense.
And Gundogan coming on for Man City.
Sure,
And it looks like Rico Lewis finally goes off, or is it Bernardo Silva to come off? We'll see now. But Son is now off the pitch.
Nice close up of the green armband, just for you.
Bernardo
I
Silva
wonder how they
off.
made those.
Yeah, it's a good point, isn't it? It's a good point. Yes, Gundogan on, Bernardo Silva off. Can we ring expressions at full time? Do you think that's...
I'll try. I'll see
we
it.
can do.
I'll see if he answers.
If they win it, answer.
You also.
He did say earlier, actually, that City were going to hold some smoke today. I saw him tweet. And
Yeah.
at the minute, he's not wrong. He's the old boy.
They've played well, Tottenham.
We've got
They've
5
played
minutes
really,
left.
They've played really well. I think there's a couple of players that have big games. I think Emerson's had a really good game.
Man City continuing the trend of copying everything that Arsenal do. You know, we play badly, they play badly. It's a bit of a trend.
It's a great opportunity here for City to have made some points up
Yeah.
on Arsenal, though, and they've just not shown anything today. I
I think
they've
that's
been
disrespectful
slow.
to Tottenham, though. Tottenham are a top side, whether you want to admit it or not. You know,
Well, they're not. I mean, Arsenal are literally at the top. I mean, define top
they're still a
side.
top side.
Okay,
still a top
like a top
side.
8 side.
Well, they're top 5.
You're a wind up, you know.
Yeah.
It's fine though. It's fine.
Emerson Royal getting a chest bump.
Chest
there
from Romero. Romero loves it.
High five from Hjoberg.
Bringing a player in can really do that though, because Eddie Nketiah has improved so much since we brought in Gabi Jesus.
Yeah,
he's
that's what I'm
doing,
saying.
and
You up the
Yeah.
competition. He knows his place is at.
100%.
They got rid of Doherty, so it's like I'm on the chopping block next. So I got to perform.
But why is it that all that has to happen for him now to have a good game?
I think it's mentality, man. You know.
Same with Luke
that's
Shaw.
the
They've
players,
brought in
it's
2
mentality.
left backs at Man United to make Luke Shaw good. First they brought in
Yeah.
Telles, and Luke Shaw had a
Mentality,
great
man.
purple patch.
What happened to him?
And then he's shipped off, and then they brought in Malacia, and Luke Shaw's had a great purple patch. Again, they have to keep bringing in new players to make Luke Shaw better.
That's the evolution
like
of the
that,
game, man.
No, of course, I mean, it's a lack of elite mentality, as
Yeah.
you might say. But yeah, you know, it's not great. And again, it makes Kane even more impressive that he doesn't need constant number 9s coming in to push him. He just does it.
Just keeps
That's
banging.
the mentality, yeah. The difference in it.
Sometimes it's just frame of mind as well.
Yeah.
You look at Marcus Rashford.
Hjoberg can't
Marcus
make it
Rashford,
stick.
arguably at the minute,
And
is
he
the
got his foul.
best player in Europe.
Oh, Grealish.
that?
Surely
Yellow?
that's the second yellow
Best
now
player
for
in Europe.
Romero, and he will be off.
I think
Guys,
he's on form.
it's the
He's
second
off.
yellow
Who's off?
for Romero.
Oh,
a red
of course
card,
he is. This is perfect.
This is Tottenham.
And Grealish
This is
having a
perfect.
go.
I want Tottenham to win 1-0, and I want them to start losing key players. This is lovely stuff.
Grealish still looking to get a few words in.
Andy Madley, he hasn't put a foot wrong all game, this ref.
He isn't going, Romero.
Well, he can get banned for longer.
Hasn't put a foot wrong. That's sarcastic because he's had a
He's had a shocking game. He's had a terrible game, Andy Madley, to be fair.
Romero felt like he just had to... Oh, did Grealish
booking.
go into
Grealish,
He did. I don't. Is it?
No.
Yeah.
No,
The ball was well. The ball was well gone. The ball was well gone.
Again.
How many times has Grealish
And no
been on the
attempt
floor
to pull it back. Even if he tried to pull it back, but
Grealish
he
jumped
caught
the
him.
first one.
Yeah.
And then he put his leg out again.
Yeah. It's poor.
Romero Rash, and he's off.
Can you hold on? Can you hold on now?
Go forward at the back. We've got to go
Davinson
back four.
Sanchez to come on, but who will be sacrificed in the last 3.5 minutes before added time? Can Manchester City get a goal here? De Bruyne are in a very good position to shoot.
Probably be Kulusevski to come off.
And you're right, Kulusevski coming off, Davinson Sanchez going on.
And there's Son and Kane up top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do Spurs hold on? That's the latest poll in the chat, people. Give us a vote. Over 1,500 of you here right now. Make sure that you're liking the video as we approach the business end of the game. Kulusevski comes off. Great game for him. Do Spurs hold on? Let us know in the chat right now. De Bruyne to score this free kick now, says Dave109.
Whatever goal City do score, it's going to be a shot from the edge of the box. It just ends up, all those players being packed in the box are going to unsight Lloris because they just not feeding the striker. They haven't really had much in terms of in the 12-yard or in the 18-yard box, in the 6-yard box. Everything's been shots from the edge of the box.
It's going to be 5 minutes of injury time and something like that as well. Oh, come on, Spurs, man. Take this home.
De Bruyne lining this one up.
Just be
Coming a set piece merchant when he comes off the bench.
This will be so unlucky, you know, for Spurs.
The Belgian Ward Prowse.
This will be so
Lloris
unlucky.
leaving that right-hand side very exposed, I would say.
I think he's going to do something different other than shoot.
Red card for Conte signing as well, by the way. It's the lack of discipline. All comes from the manager. That's what they say about us.
Don't say
far
that.
back enough.
Yeah.
De Bruyne goes for it, and it is
Apparently
blocked
not.
by the wall.
Get out to him. Get out to him.
Classic
no,
head injury.
no.
Classic head injury. The refs having none of it. Oh, no, he is. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, City
This
have
is
not had
another-
the best
this is
decisions in
another
this
thing
game.
They need to clamp down on. I have never been hitting the ball in the face with a ball from 10 yards and gone down like I've been shot. It's a football.
The thing is, no. I look.
No, I'm sorry.
The head. Because we've seen people have serious injuries from this. The head injury
Didn't
thing.
even hit him.
Yeah, but
I was
it's
gonna
dark
say,
arts, isn't it? This is dark
the head
arts.
injury thing. I understand, but it's the fact that players know that's a rule now.
So then now they go down.
simulate it.
Yeah.
And even with the concussion, like, because you have an extra substitution for concussions, is there anyone from the FA that like checks if you've got a? Do you mean like what stops you from going? Oh no, he's got a concussion. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, do you know what I mean? Like it's totally unpoliced.
There's a few rules.
That should be a yellow. That should be a yellow for a dive.
This rule.
No way.
Didn't hit him in the head.
Mate, we're doing you a favour.
I think
No, but it didn't hit him in the head.
I think Kane might have headbutted him, to be fair, but even still. If he's saying that was a football to the face and they've got, we had one at Newcastle yesterday, but there's a few rules that do not make sense. A player gets absolutely hacked down, taken out by another player, he'll get a booking, yet that player has to walk off the pitch for 10 seconds.
But now we've got
When
9
it's so blatantly obvious, like that,
Nine
like
men on the
this.
pitch.
Now we've got
now
9
for
men on the
Tottenham.
pitch.
And there will be
It's another drop ball. It's another one of your favourites.
Nah, it's ridiculous. You're not allowed to compete for it.
non-competitive drop ball.
5 minutes, what did I say?
5 minutes had it on.
At least he's letting him play it forward.
but
Because
the ref-
there are some drop balls where they say you have to play it
But
backwards.
by the letter of the law, Kane does not have to listen to the referee saying to him, go back.
Yeah.
That's not what the rule
Played
is.
Lloris.
Claims the ball.
Claims it. Finally. Oh. The game at, what game was it? Arsenal. When he let the ball go on, roll underneath his arm. And then the second
Got
game,
beaten near post.
the second game, Saka flipping, don't know how he scored a whole goal.
RTX in the comments though says this referee is 100% a City hater. Bias at its best.
No, he's a knobber geezer, to be honest.
Yeah, the ref's all over the place for both sides, I think.
He's had a poor game,
Yeah,
ref.
he's been poor.
Hasn't really ever been in control of the game.
Come on, Spurs. Get these
And inconsistent for what's
Kickstart
yellow and what's
season.
not.
Yeah, massively inconsistent. Missed a few big ones. Punished.
So what do they do now? It's got to be on the edge of the box because if they go for crossing, no one's
You're
in
letting
there.
Grealish just...
It's going to go to the edge of the box. with all that attack, hundreds of millions of attacking talent in there, we can't find the star
Space for
striker.
De Bruyne to whip it in.
It's a great ball
And
from
it's
De Bruyne.
headed away again by Emerson.
Rodri's trash.
Thank you.
Rodri
Card
is
now as well.
trash.
That's a yellow card, isn't it?
Well played, boys.
Clear and obvious foul.
Well played, Hjoberg, man of the match.
Yeah, Hjoberg and
Royale.
Emerson Royale have been fantastic today.
They've never scored a goal at this stadium.
No.
Still haven't.
Oh, no,
There is
I'm
the goal, and
listening.
it was Hjoberg that sets Kane up in the 15th minute.
Probably has to be Hjoberg man in the match.
Yeah, man of the match. Yeah, he got it. He got it there.
It's without question.
But he's still got 3 minutes. It's
Bit of
City.
housery
They've still
as
got
well.
Erling on the pitch.
That's like 90% of what he does. I actually don't see him put in great footballing displays like today that often. It's a lot of.
He's a fighter. Though,
Can I ask a question? Does this give Man United a little bit of hope? With both teams failing to win this weekend, and they won, didn't they?
Logically, yeah, I'd say so. Whether they
They've got
class
to win it.
themselves as title contenders.
Any
is-
team that
Oh,
can get a new
story.
manager and give that manager 300 million to spend in his first summer window, I think should be competing for top prizes.
I think he's done a good job there, Ten Hag.
I agree.
I think he's done an excellent job. That club was a mess, and they've had a few managers that have really struggled to sort that out. And he's come in and he's sorted it out. He's
Grealish
sorted
to
out the
Rico
attitude.
Lewis,
Oh, come on, boys.
Okay.
Man. Get this out. Force them
Gundogan,
out.
back to Grealish. Tottenham not really closing him down.
So I'm saying with the lack of
Good
ball,
ball.
that's a great ball.
Oh,
what a
That's
save.
a great
He's
ball.
gonna
And
go
of
down
course he's
now.
going to
He's
roll
gonna-
over
Hugo,
and try and
for
get a
you.
penalty.
Come on,
They're
boys.
going to try and get a pen the best they can here.
Yeah, they both got to stay down.
I love
Ben
that when
Davis
they go
said,
like
"Stay
this.
there, stay down."
Yeah.
See if they're
Yeah.
bleeding. You'd know if you're bleeding, mate. Let's see what happened here then. The ball gets crossed in.
Oh, save. He saved it.
Saved it.
I
Saved
think
it.
Rodri heads it on to Lloris, who punches it up.
Looks like a
Oh,
save.
Yeah,
no,
save.
it's a save.
It's the second. It's the second hand that goes into him. But Rodri's fine until he realises the ball's going out of play, and then he miraculously gets hurt. Yeah, it's the second
Yeah,
arm
it's
that
the
goes into
second
him.
arm that goes in his face.
Penalty
No.
Oh, I
ball.
don't know. I've seen them giving them.
for the
That-
second hand. For the
For the
second
second
hand.
one.
How can you control your arm second hand though when you're still diving for a ball?
I'm not a professional
He's not
goalkeeper.
going to get
mate. I
it.
couldn't
He's
couldn't
not
tell
going
you.
to get it, but he'll stay down for a while just to milk it and see if VAR can check
It's
it.
got another minute added on to extra. This going to 96, 97.
This is what I mean about these wingers. Like you've got Jack Grealish there, one of the most expensive English signings of all time. Can't just drive at his man and beat him. Can't create anything. There's just nothing. It's going
Why isn't
sideways,
Ruben Diaz
sideways,
playing
sideways.
recently, by the way?
He's out of favour, isn't he?
He's out of
He's got a
favour.
bunch of players that's out of favour. And Pep does, because they've got so much money, he tends to do this. He tends to just go, I'm not playing you anymore. And if we ain't got a
Mad.
replacement,
We were
He's
talking
best-
about this
best
guy
player,
being the
yeah.
next Van Dijk last season. Now he can't even play.
He can't even play there.
last year.
He was.
In a struggling
Best defender by a
Man
long
City
shot.
team.
Was he not injured though?
he was for a bit.
Yeah. It's strange what Pep does.
It'd be different if they was defensively sound and he's got to wait for his spot, but they are all over the shop
Yeah.
defensively.
That's it. I mean, playing a Kanji and
Akanji's decent defensively, but he's not great on the
Over
ball. And
Diaz,
for a
though?
real football playing side, I don't know. Stones don't really get
This is
into the
going
team
to
as
be,
much
this is gonna be
anymore.
cruel if this.
Look,
one-
sideways.
Come
Everything
on, Spurs.
sideways.
there's probably going to be an extra minute added on here
Yeah.
to the added time. De Bruyne looks up, cuts inside, finds the
Great
cross,
ball.
and it's again.
And again,
cleared
it's not
from
going
Emerson
to the
Royale.
target man. It's going to the
Oh,
back.
he's
Royale.
done so
Great.
well. That's not a foul.
That's not a
ref.
foul.
Oh,
Yes!
Oh, Lord.
Come on, boys.
Andy Madley, man of the match, has got to be.
This ref has had an absolute howler.
Pep is not happy. He's
He's not happy.
he's upset.
Ironic. Thumbs up there from Pep to Andy Madley, the ref. But we're 5.5 minutes in now. Surely there's going to be at least another 90 seconds here. But Lloris will pump this ball long.
Yeah, I think he should.
I think
He'll
that's,
probably
I think-
blow the whistle.
I think he should.
that's a poor kick.
What the
really
hell?
poor kick is
The best
that?
thing Haaland's done all game.
I thought that was like a camera trick and it was like in the
Yeah.
air still then. That's awful.
Oh,
And if they
come
concede
on,
from
man.
this, Lloris will be getting pelters in the chat.
Go,
but
go,
no.
go, go.
Is that a
Ref
foul,
probably
ref?
going to give that a foul.
Go,
as
go,
well.
go, 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 go. Get the
Oh
second.
dear. Oh dear.
Go.
Run forwards.
Run
Keep
forwards.
He's not running
Oh,
forwards.
it's a yellow.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
a
you.
yellow for Kyle Walker now against his old team.
Bentancur, good player.
Yeah, I think he's a good player, bro.
He's
Don't
never
worry
run
about
forwards.
that. Don't worry about Bentancur, bro. He's
He
good.
was trying to draw the foul there.
Yeah.
Draw the foul. What, with a pen and
He had
paper?
to pass him, man. The ball was on there. He was just walking beside
He
him.
felt like an American football player. He's like,
Yeah,
pushing
like
off the-
touching him.
That's crazy.
I think Pep's resigned to defeat there.
Oh, the whistle's going to go any second now, and it looks like Tottenham have continued that incredible record that they've got against Manchester City at this stadium. And there you go.
Yes!
Full-time whistle. Tottenham
Come on!
have 3 points thanks to a
3
Harry Kane
points
goal
in the bag,
against the current
baby.
champions. It's another loss for Man City, and Dean is absolutely over the moon.
Listen, I told you we came here for we wanted the 3 points. We got Harry Kane, our boy, 267, record breaker. Yeah, man. It's a good weekend.
Thank you for your service, Harry Kane.
Good weekend, mate. Good
Do
weekend.
Spurs hold on? 80% of you said yes, and you were right. The close-up shots here of Pep are somewhat confusing. He's smiling. He's
Clean sheet.
He does that,
VC.
doesn't he? He's a bloody
It's the
psychopath.
deflect,
He
yeah,
does
it's a
like
bit of a
loads of
psychopath.
mad,
Like,
overly
the crazy
positive,
eyes.
overly positive. Like right before he's going to kill you.
Yeah. Jack Grealish shaking his head. He got dealt with today by Emerson Royale, who's been so...
Never £100
So-
million pound.
Well, maybe not, but Emerson Royale did his job today, hasn't he? Absolutely.
That's a good win, man.
What a win.
What
What
a
a
win.
win. What a loss,
Battle.
though, for Man City. A chance for them to catch up on Arsenal, and they've not taken it. Not taken
It's
it.
another
today.
step for Tottenham in the right direction as well,
Yeah.
because Newcastle are starting to falter a little bit now. They're starting to
Drop points.
drop points, yeah, quite a lot. So yeah, they've got their top 4 ambitions. You know, this is what I was saying about last month's game between City and Tottenham, and people were saying we want Abby was saying we want Tottenham to lose. Well,
Nah,
why?
no way.
You want to get the top 4,
way.
though, yeah?
For what? To stop
to
Arsenal.
stop
winning?
Arsenal, yeah, to stop
Pathetic.
Arsenal. It's crazy.
Pathetic.
Well,
let me ask you
Pathetic
this
Spurs
now.
fans.
Great result for Arsenal today.
Yeah.
Who wins the title now?
Man City's still the favourites.
Oh, here we go, man.
What do you mean?
Just be brave and just say it with your
do you know
chest,
what-
innit?
bruv,
Say it with your chest. You're
let's-
top of
let's-
the
That way,
league.
there's enough of them standing
Yeah,
with their chest.
but the
They
thing- this-
think
this-
they'll let
this-
Reece
this-
James
this one said
out
you
of
can't-
it.
you can't-
Look
What's
at
this
him.
top
It's
four?
crazy.
What's
You
this-
can't win.
What's this top 4 nonsense? Like,
That
come
was
on,
our
man.
target at the beginning of
All
the
right,
season.
cool, but target's changed, right?
No.
How about you're
Our,
top of the
our
league?
target will change at the end
You're
of the
top
season
the
when we go
league,
into the
you're
next
top
season.
of the league by 5 points.
Yes.
You got to play City twice.
Agreed.
You're in a title race.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what your aim is.
But
That's your goal.
but we're in a title race. But he asked me. The question wasn't, "Are you in the title race?" The question
guy's
was,
a
"Who's
lawyer.
the favourite?" The
guy is a
question was,
politician,
the
in
question
fact.
was, "Who's the
Talking about
favourite
Matt
for the
Hancock
title?"
right now,
Do you know what I mean?
And you're not favourites, 5 points clear.
They've got
And
all
you
the
got- and you got-
experience.
and you got
They've got a
players.
top manager. Our manager's
You
inexperienced.
just went
Our
30.
players are inexperienced. We've got Trossard from Brighton. We didn't get our main target. We had
So the
2 or
excuses
3
are
main
coming
targets
out.
in January. We didn't get them. We're working off scraps, mate. Do you know what I mean?
I rate the preempting. If
We're
you
working
don't
off
win it.
scraps,
I
do you know what I
rate
mean?
it.
But
I
today
rate
I'm
it.
happy for you. I'm happy for Harry Kane. Do you know what I mean? Helping us out and doing his job. But we're working off scraps, man. We're a small club.
Oh,
No,
So
There you
we're
go.
a small. Listen, we're a small, humble club.
you're not.
Humble. We're a small, humble
Humble.
club. Listen, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Yeah,
What
as,
about
an
you
Arsenal,
hearing
as an
it,
Arsenal
man?
fan, if I
Come on,
say the
man.
title's ours to win, then I'm delusional. And if I say nah, it's City's, then I'm not being serious. Well, there's nothing I can say. There's nothing I can. The other Arsenal fans know what I'm saying. This is why they act crazy and say
Arsenal-
Saka's 400 million because you
Arsenal
guys
are
are
in the
going to
title race. I'm
regardless.
telling you that. They're not, it's the top 4. They're in the title race. That's what it is.
Listen, you lot, some of
If
you
you
lot
lot don't
fans, some
end
of you
up playing
lot
Champions League
fans
football
start.
next
Some of
season,
you lot fans start the season saying our target is to stop Arsenal from getting top 4. That's your focus.
Nah,
do you know
that's
what I'm
not
saying?
our
Nicky.
focus.
No, I'm not having that.
You've said what you've said. Do you agree with this?
No,
Of course not.
no, I don't. Nick,
Who's a better team? Arsenal, Man City. Who's a better team?
at the moment,
It's overall, who's a better
Arsenal.
team?
Arsenal.
Okay.
This season is Arsenal.
Okay, fair enough.
Arsenal are the best team I've
Team-
seen played this season.
Okay.
You know this.
That's what I would say.
You're talking
But when it comes to the crunch, will they be able to hold it?
Do you-
I don't know.
I agree with you.
He's always agreed with me.
There you go.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll
In
see.
that final furlong, to use a horse racing analogy, in that final furlong, City have the experience.
You know
Their
why I love this
manager's got
league?
the
You know why I
experience.
love this season between you and City? Because it's both in your own hands. Because you both got to play each other twice.
Yeah,
That's where
100%.
that's
Do you
where
know
I
what,
think the
though?
title's going to be
I'm
win.
telling you now, right? Let's get this tape. Can we get the table up? Can we get the table? I need to look at the table to see where Man United sit in this, because
they
could be sitting there
This is what
sneakily.
I'm saying. Why are Man United going without the same level of energy that we? Do you mean?
But you're top though.
Of course, but they're not far behind.
They're 6 points behind you, or 7 points behind you.
6 points behind.
6 points behind. They've got to play each other twice. They could both drop 2 points each. If Man United carry on, listen, there's a conversation there, mate.
You have played Man United again.
3 points behind City, Manchester United. 8 points behind Arsenal. But Arsenal have got to play Manchester City twice.
That's what I'm saying. We lose both those games,
Or
if
draw.
we draw those games. Man United are in the title race.
Oh wow.
We are 1 point ahead of Villa.
So
I don't even
could
want
Tottenham
to
be,
scroll
though.
that
Look,
far down.
look, Tottenham,
Yeah?
39 points.
So are Tottenham in the title
They're
race?
3 points behind Man United.
Are Tottenham in
No,
the title
we're not in
race?
the title race.
Why not? Why not
'Cause
be?
why
not be positive? Why not back your
bro,
team?
you
You just
are
signed
11 points
Pedro.
clear. You're 11 points
You just
clear,
signed the
boss.
most exciting right
You're
wing back in Europe.
And you've got a 50 million striker in Jesus.
He's injured. He's injured.
He'll
You got
come
a
back-
60
he'll come
million.
back and
You
give you
got a
the 5
60 million
goals.
pound striker that doesn't play.
Yeah, mate.
You lot play better without him. He's a crutch.
What is going on
I don't
here?
think he'll be
Kane is having an interview on the
interviewed.
pitch
He's having a testimonial.
He's broken the record, isn't he?
commemorate
the record.
the breaking
Jesus
of the
Christ.
record.
Nicky, you got to understand. They don't win trophies. I'm not taking the piss, but they don't win trophies, Nicky.
the
You got to
best
understand.
they've
This is.
This looks like a testimonial.
It's our own.
It is a testimonial language. It is a testimonial because he's not going to win any trophies.
He's our own, innit? He's broken it
not
there.
winning
He's broken it
trophies.
there.
So this is his
I'm
Premier
not
League
getting
title.
involved in this
I'm just-
conversation, Nick. I'm
You've
not-
seen it for yourself.
Yeah, I know. I can't say nothing, mate, but listen.
Boubacar in the comments with the super chat. Low, Arsenal are still fine at the top. We've also got another one from Cedric. Thank you to you. Arsenal didn't do no one a favour. You still have to beat City twice, not to mention Brentford is your next, and they're your bogey team.
It's true. We have a terrible record against Brentford. Brentford, one of the best, most underrated teams, one of the best managers in the league. You know, we're a small, humble club.
Wait, Newcastle's only won one in the last 5.
Stop it with that, Nick. Please, mate. You're not a small club. You're not humble. So let's... nobody gets pocketed in big games like Haaland. Nobody gets more pocketed in big games like Haaland, says Red Moon. Listen, we've said what we think about the league title now. Arsenal obviously clear favourites for it as things stand. But City, we've got to speak about them. It's another loss today. 4 losses in the season now. Now, that isn't a number we've seen in that column for some years in terms of how many games they normally lose in a season. But just nothing today, really, was it? We didn't see much of Haaland. He wasn't, like I said, really getting on the end of crosses. He wasn't connected to the midfield. They weren't finding him. He definitely didn't get space in behind. So as much as you have to give credit to Tottenham, as we have done, City just weren't at the races today, again.
I think there's a worrying thing that they can't change it. Or I don't know whether because of what they've bought, what they've sold, they're playing one way. He's decided that there is nothing. He hasn't got the tools that he used to have to change it up.
Yeah.
And if it's not working, they're stuck. You see it today. They didn't change the way they're losing the game. They're not playing particularly well. It hasn't changed the way that they was attacking.
For sure. Which also makes it easier for other managers to start preparing for them because they know,
worked out.
I'll say this and then we'll get spanked, but it should make it easier for other managers to prepare because they're going to do one thing. And one of the key things that you expect from a Pep Guardiola team anywhere in his career is that his whole team are comfortable on the ball. First touches, passing, moving the ball really well. Akanji today, Rodri today was awful, constantly pressed. I know Tottenham are very good at pressing, but it was awful. He wasn't what you would expect from a Pep Guardiola Premier League winning centre defensive midfielder.
But then would you flip it and say Tottenham's setup was excellent?
100%.
And say, we played defensively, we were defensively sound, we played compact, played tight, and we kept them quiet.
It's just the only reason we're focusing on them is because they have got 4 Premier Leagues out of 5. And with you guys did really well today, but this is what you do. It's not a surprise. When you guys are pressing, countering, Kulusevski, pace out wide, etc., that's not a surprise. We know that you guys are going to do that. We know Hjoberg's not a super talented player, but he's going to battle man of the match performance by far. He's better than any of City's midfielders on an individual basis. So they should have been ready for that. But like Nicky said, even if they go into the game and they know that they haven't really got the tools to deal with that, there's no secondary option. Do you know what I mean? And even you guys have Richarlison on the bench, which is a slightly different proposition to to Kane. So there is something of a change that you can make from a tactical perspective. City, for all of their riches of talent, don't seem to have that. They've got their one thing.
LJ Brown says, thank you, Spurs. He's an Arsenal fan. Arsenal going to slap City next, says Dominic Shots.
Thank you, LJ Brown, for being here.
Arsenal isn't even finishing top 4. Anyone who says otherwise don't know what they're talking about.
I agree. Listen,
we're agreeing with that. Shut up. Don't try that again. Pep once again dropping points by useless philosophy, says Questlati. Kane is a real gooner, says Anson. Who is moaning in the mic, says Oliver.
Who's moaning in the mic?
No, this isn't the BBC. Yeah, thank you City, not Spurs. Thank you Spurs for doing us a favour. Obviously Arsenal fans buoyant, but it's not looking good for City. I saw a lack of fight today, which I don't often say about City, but I saw a lack of desire to want to get back and defend. I saw Rodri walking. It'd be interesting to see actually the Man City perspective. Obviously we wanted a City fan on today, but it'd be interesting to see their take on what went wrong today. I mean, again, we've listed all of them. The lack of chances for Haaland, defence wasn't really with it. They were getting pressed a lot. They lost the goal and they lost the game because of poor defending, really, didn't they?
Yeah, for sure. And just, I think, poor midfield battle, because they lost that midfield battle by a considerable distance. And that's where, like I say, Hjoberg pushed up the pitch really high, pressed the defenders, and then slotted it for Kane to get the goal. And there's so many, Man City fans that I've spoken to talk about burnout. Jack Grealish won't have any burnout. Haaland won't have any burnout. Alvarez won't have any burnout. They've got like a couple £100 million worth of players who will not have any burnout because they haven't been part of this. They're relatively new to the side. So it's, I don't know. It's excuses, I suppose.
But for Tottenham, Dean, is the top 4 now a possibility? Newcastle just ahead of you. They've drawn 10 games this season.
Yeah, I think Newcastle fade out, man. They've won 1 in their last 5.
2.
Is it 2?
2 in the last 5.
Okay, 2 in the last 5. Yeah, so
as of you.
Yeah, but I think they'll fade. I think we'll get top 4.
Really?
And then Chelsea and Liverpool. Where are they? Yeah, I think we'll get top 4. We're 9 points clear of Chelsea, 10 points clear of you.
Cheers.
No worries. I think Spurs will get. I think we'll do it.
Top 4 for Spurs?
Yeah, I think they're looking good for it.
Yeah, I think we'll do it.
Yeah.
So who drops out of that then? Is
Newcastle.
It Newcastle?
Yeah, I think Newcastle drop. Yeah.
I was talking to a few Newcastle
If
fans.
Newcastle won yesterday, then we would have.
I was talking to a few Newcastle fans yesterday, and they were saying we just haven't got a squad for it.
Yeah.
We just haven't got a squad for it. We haven't got the depth. Well, as soon as like 1 or 2 players go missing, it changes our complete.
But if they go all in on the Carabao Cup, does that mean that they're less likely to focus on finishing in the
I
top
think
4?
so.
Yeah.
I think it's important for them. A trophy this early would be a very
massive overachievement.
It would be a marker. This is what City done when they got all the money.
In the sand, isn't it?
Yeah. They put the line in the sand. Right, that's it. That's that sort of like elephant in the room gone. You got the trophy. Now we can. They've got big ambitions, Newcastle, and it'll be accelerated by money.
They also haven't had European football, so they just get at the beginning of the season. This is why top 4 is fine for us Arsenal fans at the moment. But at the beginning of the season, the target for Newcastle would have been top 6. Let's try and get into Europe.
I don't think it was.
You don't even think that?
No, I don't think so.
Top 8?
I don't. Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
top
what I
8.
mean. So from a mental perspective,
top 8.
if you and Newcastle are both head to head for 4th. Their dressing room is quite happy, and your dressing room is getting a grilling. So I think you guys will get that real push because they're already overachieving. That was the point I was making, where it's like actually the pressure is
10
on
draws,
you
though,
guys.
For Newcastle.
They've only lost 1 all season, though.
Yeah, that was
One
deliberate.
game.
But it's 10 draws,
10 draws.
38 draws is.
But do you know what it is? 10 draws doesn't look good, but what it is they know what they're going to go out there and do, and they know what they've got. So if they can just solidify that defensive side where we're not going to concede, then it's like, okay, cool, can we nick a goal? But just they've started off with let's not lose games, and let's start with that as a foundation. And on some days they can nick a goal, some days they can't. But they're a lot more consistent. They'd rather have consistency. That, like you were saying earlier, Dean, about Spurs not having consistency. They have got that consistency, but it's fine margins.
I think it's when you think about where they was at the beginning of last season, they lost something like 12 in a row, something like that.
Yeah.
They didn't have a point by
It's unbelievable.
Dan Burn
November or something.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Dan Burn's a class left back.
Yeah, left back. Yeah, Dan Burn left back.
Well, there you go. Tottenham have beaten Manchester City in the Premier League today. An unbelievable result for Tottenham, but one that, if you look at the records, it doesn't really surprise you in terms of Man City losing that one today. Massive shout out goes out to our guests. Obviously, Nick Francis, the Arsenal fan, who has been telling us how humble he is.
Tiny, humble club Arsenal.
Tiny North London.
You might have heard of us. You might have heard of us.
There's Tottenham, Barnet, Arsenal, just in there. But thank you for coming on, bro. I appreciate it, as always. You and very many Arsenal fans will be absolutely over the moon tonight, because this does make Arsenal's title charge a little bit easier now. Obviously, Dean going home with the 3 points today.
3 points,
today,
man. 3 points. Yeah, I'm happy
you're
today.
buzzing, aren't you?
I'm buzzing today.
Yeah.
Go
Good
eat
on
Sunday
you.
dinner nice with a smile on my face.
Good on it. Nick, my fella.
Cheers, mate. I'm going
Being
home.
my
I'm
co-host
tired.
today. Really appreciate it. I know
Tired.
you've had a
A lot
long
of travelling.
journey from
You've earned
Newcastle
an
last night. Massive
Cheers,
shout out
mate.
to the viewers as well. You've been brilliant today. You make sure you smash the likes just before you leave as well. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to DR Sports already, make sure you do, because the weekend wrap-up show tomorrow is going to be an absolute belter. Not for me, not for Robbie, but Abby will be very happy as well. So make sure you tune in for that. And we've got loads of great content coming up throughout the week. Until then, take care. All the best.
Take care. Bye.